It's hot now.
That's a technical term, huh?
It is a very technical term.
That's what we do here. It looks unprofessional, but we work very hard professionally to make it look that way.
Here we are, Monday night, another episode of the Tool Shed, volume 11, that is, which is, we're building up quite the library of volumes here. We are going to be the next we shall be the Encyclopedia Britannica of podcasts.
So when you say that we're volume 11, is that we've been 11 episodes past when GBMC ended, or did we start when GBMC?
GBMC is
like the first 5 episodes of
yeah,
this?
that's like
okay.
the first 4 volumes, possibly.
Just for historical accuracy.
We're also the podcast with Panache.
No question.
Yeah.
What is Panache?
Panache is a
Style.
restaurant out in Lansdale, PA that I drove by today and thought,
You gonna stop by?
That's a fucking hell of a word.
You gonna check it out? What kind of restaurant is it?
I think it's fancy.
It's like
Oh wow, yeah.
it's a fancy
You
restaurant.
can't be called Panache and not be a fancy
It had
restaurant.
it had a fountain out front.
Yeah,
so one of them.
So it's
Yeah.
an Italian fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
It's above my tax bracket already.
So,
Yeah.
real quickly, we are the podcast with Panache. I'm Sean Cove. That's the kid with the golden digits across from me, Payday Jones. Biz Monkey on the other side, a.k.a.
Bizzler.
DJ Noodle Bread.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right.
Get that bread, noodle.
And that fourth voice you hear is our special guest, Joseph Desmond White.
Joe White of the Thanks for Sharing podcast fame, of the It's Fine on Amazon Prime fame, and and of Alcohol Anonymous fame.
I don't think you get fame from
No,
that.
you
That's the
gotta
whole
be-
anonymous
yeah.
part.
No, well, it's not anonymous. When you sit there and you say, I'm Joe White and I got how anonymous is it? It'd be
Well, just
anonymous if-
amongst the people in the room.
Yeah, but what are you wearing, a shroud? You're fucking sharing your fucking book.
Whoa,
You're sharing all
whoa,
your
whoa,
photos.
whoa.
No,
Hey,
listen,
take
hold
it
on.
easy. It's about attraction, not promotion.
Listen.
Let them know, Joe. I've been to a meeting or two.
Yeah.
No, but
I
I'm
know
saying,
I know the shit that you're supposed to say.
how anonymous is it to share your problems with a bunch of known alcoholics?
Well, the idea
There's
is
no obligation to use your real name.
the idea is anonymity outside of the meeting.
Do you find, Joe, that most people use their real name?
People use mine, but I think it's mostly because it's 2 syllables. Because people are like Joe White, and just saying Joe, it just,
Yeah.
1 syllable. It's just like
Do most people do their last names in the alcohol? I want to go to a meeting one time. We talked about
no,
this
they do
before.
the last initial. They usually do.
Just to swing by and see what's good.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll find the love of my life there. You know what I mean?
I'm Karan W.
I'm
So, you know
Karan.
what I mean?
I do CrossFit. I'm a black guy from Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would you identify as?
Turn Biz down because
Yeah,
he's
I'm
killing
working
us.
on it.
Whatever. Turn me up.
What do I identify as?
No, if you could identify with something and get away with it. Like, you know how what we're in, this world that we live in?
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
You could probably, what would it be that you would say, I identify as this, so you must respect me as
a
such.
recovering wigger.
A recovering wigger.
Yeah,
But don't
I
you think most people do see you as that and respect you as such?
Yes. So you want me to like identify as something that I'm not?
Well, no.
I'm a little confused here.
I'm saying if you could identify with something,
Yeah.
you could say, I identify as an elephant, and most people have to respect me as an elephant. Like, you could have anything.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it is National Coming Out Day, so this is a good time to discuss it.
Yeah, happy National Coming Out Day. And
Yeah.
fuck Christopher Columbus. What did he do for us anyway? You know what I'm saying?
Bro, he discovered the Bahamas.
Yeah, well,
A fucking
It's a
beautiful
nice place to
vacation area.
Yeah.
that's quite the new world when you think about it. You know what I mean? If we're going to talk about a new world, the Bahamas. You
If
know
we're
what I'm
going to
saying?
talk about a new world, we got to get down to the new world order.
Let's fucking
All right?
go.
But let's save that argument for the end of the show.
Then we get
Let's be
spicy.
friends for an hour or so.
Yeah, and then the last
then
hour,
we'll kick it
we
up a
all want
notch.
to kill each other.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that,
yeah.
dude. And then we give each other awkward pounds. on
What
the way
would
out.
I identify as? A successful podcaster.
There
you
it
go.
is. And then people would have to treat you as
Yeah,
such, right?
Oh, that would be perfect,
Yeah.
right? Because if everybody had to treat me that way, at that point, brands would be like, well, We have to treat him as a
Let's
success.
sponsor him.
Wow, that's a
Let's
good
cut
one,
him a
man.
check.
Way to think outside the box and inside the box at the same time. How about you, Joe? What would you identify as?
I don't
if you
know.
could
I liked his answer a lot. Dude.
Yeah?
I used to say T-Rex. I was doing a joke on stage. I would say, "Can I just say I'm a T-Rex?" And then people would be like, "What?"
Yeah, but there's no real need or reason. Just
Yeah. Well, I was like, I'll just kick in someone's door and eat their cat, and they're like, "Why are you doing that?" I'll be like, "Because I
T-Rex."
identify as T-Rex now, dude. I'm king of the jungle."
Did I send you the John that I seen on your mom's house?
nah.
The girl who wanted to be identified as Bug. Her name was Moth, but her pronoun was Bug. So she was like, "This is how you use it. Hey, let's go to Moth's house and see what's up with Bug. Maybe Bug and Bug's friends would like to go to the store with Bug's self."
Wow.
Like, went off this whole tangent, which at that point, I mean, you lost my respect there. I'm not going to call you Bug's self. But it's like, it's the story that we hear so many times of the blatant cry for attention. Like, what's the wildest thing that I could say in this lane
Yeah.
in order to fucking rile things up a bit?
I remember when I was working on Casket at Marston House, we were watching, Steve Skaggs was recording this, and we were watching something where it was like some grown 50-year-old man identifying as like a 7-year-old girl or like 5-year-old girl or whatever, and he was like dressing up like a little princess.
Yeah, but that was like before it was cool to identify as something else. So he was real with it. He was like he was a real Christopher Columbus of the identification game.
Yeah, dude, he was a real coming out day of the...
Yeah.
He was the Bahamas of the whole thing.
Yeah, he's basically the Bahamas. I think I would identify as a 13-year-old boy because I think that that's closest to who I am naturally.
Yeah.
So I think that if I were just to identify, I think I'd get a lot more leniency if they were just like,
Yeah,
well, he's 13. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like if you're a 13-year-old boy, you could do silly shit like not show up for work.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, he's just a kid. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? He's going to figure it out as time goes on. But the
Yeah.
thing is, you never have to figure it out.
Yeah, because I'm always identifying as a
Because you're
13-year-old
always
boy.
13.
And I never really hear, he's mature for his age. But I might if I identified as a 13-year-old boy.
I'd say you probably have to drop it a little lower to get that.
9-year-old boy.
Yeah, there you go. That's
it.
kind of the lane that you would have to
Because I
run
am
in.
naturally a 13-year-old boy, so then if I identify as a 9-year-old boy, then I do get you're mature for your age.
Yeah. Now, would you do the Happy Gilmore thing where instead of like being at work, and since you identify as a 9-year-old boy, now you run back through elementary school?
You mean Billy Madison?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
You know how much movies I do.
Yeah.
Hey,
Veronica.
I'm impressed that he was as close as he was.
He was. He was at least the right
Yeah,
actor.
the right
I
actor.
was in the same
He was
way.
only
The
like
right
one
era,
movie.
too.
Yeah,
Same
he was only one
decade,
movie
same
off,
decade
yeah.
too. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
right there.
And Happy Gilmore is, it's one syllable less than Billy Madison. So
Exactly.
you were
So
in
would you do the
realm.
Billy Madison situation? If you identify as a 9-year-old boy, if you came out today on coming out day as a
Yeah.
9-year-old boy,
Yeah.
what's your next move
Yeah,
tomorrow?
why not? That would be great. Going
Tomorrow,
back to
what do
school,
you do?
100%. Let's go back to school.
Yeah.
Because they were fucking great years of my life, especially in that era, and I'd be fucking crushing it because I've already done all this.
Yeah.
So I'd be
You know long division already.
well.
You sure?
Let's not push it. But I'm probably better
But
than
you
a lot
definitely
of,
could write cursive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
okay.
My S's are impeccable, and I can get a Z down too. On like
A
the
Z
third
is
try,
a tough one, dude.
Z's
You
are
know
tough.
what's the toughest? Right now, I guarantee you couldn't fucking do a capital cursive G. It's not easy. I tried recently.
You doing the one that winds up looking like a box with a curly
I don't
Q
even
in
know what
corner?
the fuck it looks like. I
right,
just
dude.
want,
I
yeah.
That's musical notes.
I haven't written something down in like years, but I'm pretty sure
Let's
it's
see.
that.
What do you got?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's-
it's,
That's
looks
still
like
musical
it.
notes.
yeah.
All right,
that's
so
a
I'm
G,
glad.
though.
I'm sure
Yeah,
the
it's a G
listeners are
clef.
happy to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone saw it, dude. I'm writing G clips.
Yeah, just
out here.
it looks perfect.
How did it look? Did you get it?
I don't think he's
think
even
this one looks
remotely,
pretty close, dude.
I don't think he's even in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think-
This one over here kind of looks like it, don't it?
That
I'm
one's
pretty
actually not.
sure.
When you hold it that way, that one's not
I also
bad.
That's
have
Joe's?
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
also
Joe.
have
So
terrible
Joe wins that
handwriting.
game.
All right.
Yeah,
You
just
are the
put
winner
a
of that
couple
game.
quarter
I
notes,
couldn't
dude,
think
and
about
you said
it.
I wrote a G clip.
Yeah, I
and you
don't.
were like,
I'm so
You're like,
sorry.
do you know what a half note is?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
So
I'm
when push
sorry.
comes to shove, you're gonna have to go to like 7 years old to explain why you can't write cursive.
If I take one lesson plan, I'm fucking golden. Don't.
You're good.
All right.
Watch a few YouTube videos
Yeah, I'll
on
watch
what
a
do
YouTube
fourth
video.
graders know.
Do kids even fucking do cursive anymore?
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
'cause I thought
I
that was
can't
like
speak
a-
for everybody, but my kid does.
Okay.
I rarely put pen to paper that I will get tripped up on letters. Like, I'm impressed I even got that. And I'm like, can I even write anymore?
That's
I'm
a hard
impressed,
one,
too.
dude. That's a hard
Especially
one.
cursive, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
that was
tough
good.
If
one.
anything, I do
Now,
print.
how are you going to attack the situation that, like, okay, so you identify as a 9-year-old boy, and most people respect you identifying as a 9-year-old boy, but outside of, the liberals who will respect what you want to identify as,
No, I'm saying
the
that
rest of the world is going to identify you as a pedophile who hangs around a bunch of other 9-year-old kids.
This is not the scenario I'm painting. The scenario I'm painting is that we're 400 years in the future almost in the way that our everything works, and that
and we're very accepting.
Yeah, we're progressive in the sense of whoever is identifying as something, that's how we treat them. So
Yeah.
if Joe identifies as a T-Rex, then
Then we all run
he's
away
a
when he
T-Rex.
shows up.
You gotta respect that, dude. Yeah.
Dude, a T-Rex doing comedy? That'd be
Yeah,
fucking
that'd be
incredible,
cool.
man.
But would anybody stick around to see the comedy, right? Because as soon as T-Rex fucking waddles on stage,
They might, just because people
99%
haven't
of
seen a T-Rex in billions of years.
Right,
dude.
hear me out. Right, I go by the marquee tomorrow, and it says live a T-Rex doing stand-up. I'm at least in there for the first 15 minutes to see if he's got chops.
you're gonna
I'm
be like, I
intrigued.
never seen him on Comic View. Let's
Right.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
let's check him out.
T-Rex.
How much-
I don't
Are
remember
you
him from the
touching this
Def
with a
Comedy
10-foot
Jam
pole?
days.
I mean, the smart move is to be the accountant for a successful podcaster, so I can just sit back and collect off of somebody else.
Boom.
Yeah, wow. Good deal,
Yeah, because then, right? Because not only does everybody else have to treat you as an accountant,
Right.
but I
You
would have
gotta
to
do it
treat
too.
you as an accountant too. So you
can't-
could steal
can't
all the
ask-
money
right.
you want, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh well, no,
I'm the
payday's the
accountant, yeah.
accountant, man. You just
I got the books. You just got to
you
believe
just
me that
gotta
these
fucking
books are
trust
good.
him.
Yeah.
He's an accountant.
Yeah.
We only made $6 last year. I don't know what to tell you.
Did you guys catch a fight at all? Hey, did you watch the fight?
I saw the end. I saw the
highlights?
highlight.
Did you
Yeah.
watch any of that? You're not with it.
All right, give us
Damn.
the rundown. What happened with it?
Nothing. So Wilder comes out. Look, so in my head, I watched the other two fights. I loved this. I love heavyweight boxing, and heavyweight boxing hasn't been great in forever. And these dudes made it great again.
This is
And-
the Gypsy, right?
yeah, the Gypsy King and the
who's the
Bronze
other
Bomber.
guy? And-
Deontay Wilder.
And what's he about? Where is he from? What's his thing?
Deontay Wilder. I'm not sure exactly where he's from. Houston, maybe. I'm not sure where he's from, to be honest.
Spanish kid?
No, black dude, and he's
Light skinned though. If we're calling him the
dark-skinned.
bronze, but we're calling him the Bronze
He's from
Bomber.
Tuscaloosa.
So why do we call him the Bronze Bomber if he's a dark skinned black dude?
Not 100% sure why we call him the Bronze
Okay,
Bomber.
carry on.
But he
Seemingly always comes in third place based on his
Ah.
boxing skills.
When we started calculating punch speed and punch hit velocity, he's like number one. His
Wilder. Okay.
is like number one to like Tyson, right? He's like right there with Tyson as far as the amount of force that he delivers with his punches.
Okay.
I always loved Wilder. Always loved him. Never liked Fury. Never saw Fury as being like a fun boxer to watch.
Yeah.
But Wilder was like washing people in the first round. He just got a crazy overhand. I think it's his overhand left, if I'm right. But whatever. So I always really liked him. He got exposed in the first fight. Fury got knocked down 2 times. So because Wilder was the champion, this is the first fight of the trilogy. They gave it a draw, right? So Wilder retained the belt, and then they geared up for the rematch.
Okay.
Fury won that fight, but because the way that boxing works, if you get fucking put to the mat 2 times, you now have to win fucking 8 rounds in order just to draw.
Right.
So I don't know that he won 8 rounds. He won fucking, maybe 6 of those 8 rounds, but that's a draw, So, so that any casual fan that watched that first fight thought Fury won.
Can I
because-
squeeze in another question?
Go ahead.
What's do you know both of their overall records?
I don't, but I do know
Pay,
that
you on
Fury's
that for me?
undefeated.
I got Wilder, and Wilder is professionally he's 42-2 with 1 draw.
Shoo.
His 2
And-
losses
and-
are to Fury.
By the way, he's the bronze bomber because he won the bronze medal in the Olympics.
There it is.
All right, and so how about
Give me a second,
Fury?
Fury should be somewhere
42 is a lot of pro
so
fights. I
42,
feel like.
his
He's a
2
ton.
losses and his 1 draw are both to Tyson Fury.
Okay.
And I think Fury is undefeated, but I think he has something like 38 wins or 36 wins or something like that.
Yeah.
He is 31-0 with a draw.
Okay.
So 31-0 with
22
a draw.
KOs.
With a draw to Wilder.
Yeah.
Right.
And Wilder is a knockout artist, but he couldn't
And the draw's questionable anyway.
Yeah, the draw's questionable, but to a boxing fan, also he was the defending champ.
Right.
So when you got a defending champ who's at least putting up a fight, it's hard to overturn that in any kind of sport.
You
like
got to
that.
put the defending champ on his
Right.
ass.
You got the Ric Flair. You got to beat the champ to be the champ.
Yeah.
So the second fight, Fury fucking just put on a clinic, just fucked him up, and ended up knocking him out. And no one had him as a knockout because no one saw that coming.
Yeah.
And Wilder came out saying, "Oh, my ring attire." He wore like this big like Black Panther skull thing, crazy whatever. It was like 40 or 60 pounds he wore to the ring, and that was his excuse. It was that he was beat from wearing that thing all the way to the ring.
That's terrible.
Oh my God, it's awful to say
Don't make
that.
an excuse. If you're
certainly don't make an excuse over something that you had all the control over.
Yeah. No, don't make an excuse. Like, here's the thing. You get to that high level of performance in any facet, whether it's sports, business, entertainment, when you fuck up, you got to just go, you know what?
You got to eat it.
I flubbed this one. I'm back to the drawing board on it.
Coming out like that is still like you flubbed it. You know what I mean? No one was like, well, he wore the big thing. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah.
If he didn't wear that, he would have won. But he just looked like he had no cardio in that fight. Tyson looked fresh the whole fight.
Yeah.
And it was a totally different thing. This third fight, same kind of deal. Fury just put on a fucking clinic. Wilder came out. So the second fight, Fury came right to him. And I think that Wilder wasn't expecting that, and that's what kind of threw him for a loop.
Thought he was going to dance around a little bit?
I think so.
So he's going to try to respect his power.
Yeah. And Fury just didn't. And he's real herky-jerky. Like, to a casual fan, he's real herky-jerky. But he's calculated. He's a big dude, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he's real, like when you watch him, it's almost like,
twitchy.
Is this dude fucking having an episode?
Yeah, he's
like,
kind of
this guy's
twitchy.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And he's a big, fucking, weird-looking dude. So it's a lot.
He's a big old ugly gypsy.
He's probably I wouldn't... As intimidating of a specimen that Deontay Wilder is, there's no way that I want to stand to Tyson Fury, 6'8", 270 some odd pounds. Like, this dude's just a fucking a mammoth. So this fight, the third one, Wilder goes right to him with low jabs to the gut. Respecting Tyson's power, but also giving him low jabs to the gut, and he goes right at him. Knocks him down in the fourth round. Fury goes down in the fourth round, gets back up, and from that point, Fury just put on a clinic because he knew at this point that it wasn't going to turn into another episode, first fight of the trilogy type deal where he's going to get knocked down to the mat, and then Wilder's going to just hang with him, and then they're going to call it a draw.
Right.
So Fury at that point just keeps on, and it's just like you can see that Wilder's legs are not there for fucking 6 rounds. So it ends up with an 11-round knockout, and it was a beautiful fucking knockout. But his legs weren't with him. Wilder's legs wasn't with him for the 4 rounds before that.
Was there any knockdowns other than the knockout?
I believe there was one other knockdown for Wilder, like maybe in... Oh man,
some other round.
It was late,
that wasn't
dude.
the 11th.
It was late at night. Yeah. So I think Wilder got knocked down once. Fury got knocked down once, and there might have been another knockdown or like a trip or a stumble or something like that. That might not have been a legit knockdown. I know that there was a stumble, and there was one later, I think in like round 9 where Wilder took a knee or whatever. But yeah, Fury just put on a clinic, and then Fury's just a class act, and it's just fucking amazing for boxing for the first time in whatever it's been, 20 some odd years. It feels like more than that. I mean, 25 years that we've had like a legit heavyweight boxing match that's been like holy fucking shit.
Yeah, nobody was really following Butterball's career too tough.
No. Oh, he was fighting cab drivers.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that dude wasn't fighting anybody. You know.
So I mean, Fury being a class act, I believe it because I'll tell you this. I once worked for some gypsy roofers out of Croatia.
Yeah.
And they were gypsies, so you can't trust them too much, right? But they were classy guys, you know what I mean? Like, took care of me. They'd buy lunch for you. They'd, pay you more than you deserved. That's because they were stealing a lot of it, I guess, from other people. Because they also had a hustle where they would go and clean gutters. Anybody's gutters, no matter how big your house is, $99 will go clean your gutters.
Yeah, good deal.
But every time they cleaned gutters, they then found something wrong with your roof, whether there was something wrong with your roof or not. So I say that so that the people know if you have some Croatians who roll up to clean your gutters, they tell you there's something wrong with your roof, you might want to get a second opinion.
Stay on your toes.
Yeah.
But
So that was it. It was just a great night. I was really happy about it.
You're gassed up on it. Yeah,
I was gassed up.
Did you pay for the fight?
Real good. Oh no, fuck no. I can. Anyone who wants to get free pay-per-views, free wrestling events, free any movie ever, just hit my DM and I'll give you a link and we'll get it going.
I could have used you when the fucking Euro Cup was on. I wound up having to buy ESPN and I still haven't canceled it.
Yeah, that's rough. Certain sporting events like that are hard to come by. Like I tried to watch the Olympics. Like I wanted to watch the Olympics. I don't have cable, so I wanted to watch the Olympics, and it was hard for me to get a good stream of the Olympics. So
yeah, Casey, what's up?
Certain things are hard to get. Chuck Liddell had the domestic violence going on.
What did his wife do?
I don't know. Something fucked up. Something wrong, right? What do you think she did?
You
think she said Tito Ortiz was top 3 or something like that, or
I'd hit her too.
Maybe she was in Tito's DMs.
Oh man.
Oh, she was probably liking Tito's pictures on the beach. Like he was shirtless on the beach skimboarding, and his wife fucking put double tapped it.
How crazy do you got to be to get out of line when you're Chuck Liddell's wife?
Well, I mean,
Maybe
if you were a man,
season the chicken enough,
Yeah, maybe she didn't season the chicken.
Garlic
It's
was
true.
too thick.
Yeah.
Didn't slice the garlic thin enough in the sauce.
Yeah, you got to crush the garlic. Don't fucking thinly slice it. You know what I mean? It's too much garlic.
It's not unbelievable that she.
Not for me. I'm saying for Chuck.
I didn't never heard too much garlic.
Oh,
Go
no.
ahead. It just was a weird sentence.
No, not too much garlic, but if you slice it too thick, you need to get that garlic thin.
Yeah, it's got to liquefy.
Yeah, so you could have too much, but don't have it thick.
Yeah.
No.
You fuck around
I
and
got a
end up
full
like Chuck
peppercorn,
Liddell's
bitch.
wife.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think, how crazy is Chuck Liddell's wife to get out of line? Now, you're thinking like a man, which is the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you were, if she had a man's brain, then she would be crazy to get out of line. But she's just doing what wives do.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just saying, if there's a truck in the road, you know what I mean? You get out the way. That's all I'm saying.
You would think.
There's a man in your house, you should probably watch what you say.
I mean, maybe the Iceman didn't leave the toilet seat down, dude, and she just had enough.
Yeah. He
Is
did
that his
something.
nickname?
Yeah.
The Iceman, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the Iceman.
He did something for her to do something for then him to go back and, do
Just for him to
the
be
ultimate
like,
something.
Why would you make me do this? You know what I mean? Ultimately.
It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, he had to discipline her.
It's been a while since he had a fight, too, so he probably
Yeah.
just had some pent-up rage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
He
still
was
got it.
the
Maybe
guy.
he watched the boxing match and he was like,
Oh,
I still
that's
got
what
it.
it was.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
she walked in the way of it.
Yeah.
Maybe she's, you know what I mean? Maybe she
was like,
Yeah,
said
he,
"Hey,
he
something
was
to him.
practicing, and then she just walked in front of him accidentally.
He said,
He was shadow boxing.
Yeah.
He said, I still got it. And she said, come on, babe. You're like 50.
It's been
Yeah.
forever.
Game
Yeah.
over for her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years. You got nothing, and then
And he
just
clocked her and
It
said,
has
why
been-
did you make me do
He
this?
fought.
Yeah.
Didn't he fight? Wasn't it
He
Ortiz?
fought Tito in 18. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like a snooze fest.
A
It was like
complete
two
snooze fest.
Well,
old
it's two
guys.
old guys
Two
trying
old
to
guys
relive their
trying to
glory
pretend
days.
that
But
they're
do you
not old
remember?
guys.
Do you remember how great? Like Chuck was the guy. Like Chuck was the slugger. Like he was the face of the UFC for a few years.
Yeah.
Chuck was the
Like Dana White was on his dick.
Chuck was the Mike Tyson of it. You just tuned in to watch him knock somebody out. His technical skills were iffy
No,
at best.
none.
He's
His
just
best
a tough guy.
His best technical skill was he was extremely astute at not getting taken down, and his takedown defense is legendary. So that you have to be standing and boxing with him, and that's what he wanted to knock you out.
He was like a pre-Conor in a way.
I feel like
Well, he wasn't. No, because he was dumb. So he wasn't as good on the mic as Conor.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying he was the face of the UFC and
yeah,
he was known for his
definitely
hands.
he was definitely the face. Him and Couture were like in the same realm at that time. Yeah, he was definitely the face because he was the more violent one.
Speaking of McGregor, he was knocked out during a sparring session a couple of days ago.
He's not a good fighter.
No, he's done, right? He's
He
cooked.
never was.
I think he was.
I mean, you
He
gotta
had-
be okay.
It's crazy to
You
say
gotta
that he
be okay
wasn't.
to get where Connor got to.
Not really. To be honest, not really. He had a solid run.
P.
Right?
You gotta be okay to be the UFC champion. He might not be amongst the greatest fighters of all time, in your opinion, but if you are the UFC champion, you gotta be all right.
Okay, so I'll give you all right, but for where he's heralded at, he doesn't belong in that stratosphere at all.
That's fine. I don't know.
But the money-
enough-
Yeah, I'm not.
the
I'm
money
not
that he
he's-
brings to
He's
UFC.
not a bum. I'm not telling you he's a bum. What I'm telling you is when he fights guys that are actually
You feel
his
like he's
size,
overrated.
he gets fucked up.
Yeah.
He only is successful when he can cut down and fight people that he's got 3-4 inches of reach on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Chuck
I love
Liddell.
when Khabib fucked him up. That was my favorite thing of all time. When Khabib fucked it was the greatest moment of my entire
Khabib was
life.
ruining him and talking shit on him while he
dude.
was doing it.
I forget what he was saying.
And
when he
I
was
don't
in there.
necessarily
He's
even
like,
like
say
Khabib.
something now. Say
'cause
something now.
Khabib's a bit of too much of a dick. He's the guy who will talk shit, but then if you say anything, it's like, oh, don't say nothing about me. Like, I don't like people who will engage you, but don't like it when they get engaged
can
back.
dish it, but can't get it.
Yeah.
get it
But
back.
I think Khabib. I mean, him
Khabib's a
stepping
monster
away,
in the ring.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
think that he is top tier level. As far as anyone's concerned,
Yeah.
I think that he might be the best at right now.
I don't think if he wanted to get back in the ring, I don't think there's anybody who could take him on. He'd have to move up in weight class before it would
Yeah,
even
if he
be
moved
considered
up,
a fight.
but he's not going to.
No,
He's done,
no,
and
he's
he'll go
good.
down as a
Was
goat
he 35
because of
and
it.
0 or 40 and
yeah,
0?
I think he should walk away. I think it's great for him to walk away now. I like to see the guys who walk away on top.
Yeah,
and
me
with
too.
their brain intact.
Yeah, with his brain intact.
Well, but that has yet to be seen.
Well-
He could suffer from a whole gang of CTE
Yeah.
years down the line, right?
True,
Probably
true.
so.
yeah, but it's better to get out safe than it is to continue for
Until
selfish
it's real
reasons
obvious,
and
yeah.
then
I
end up
absolutely
Muhammad
agree.
Ali shaking a spoon,
Right, or Chuck Liddell dragging your back leg when you're trying to fight.
beating up your wife for walking
Yeah.
in front of the TV.
Big shout out
Got to get
to-
a win against somebody, get himself back on the right path.
Shout out to Bobby Evans and Louis G, who just stepped into the chat.
There you are.
boys.
Bob Evans got great sausage.
Bob Evans is the guy. He's a great carpenter.
Yeah.
Solid. Bobby Evans and Matt Evans taught me a lot of the things that I know about framing to this point in my life. Oh, and Prof's in the building.
Let's go.
Prof and Louis G, two of our oldest listeners. They've been with us
Through it all.
Pretty much.
all 11 episodes of the Tool Shed now.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you.
Can I tell you this
Yeah.
about Chuck Liddell, and then we'll stop doing the UFC thing?
Okay.
We don't have to.
No, we don't. We can't keep going. We're not a UFC podcast.
Yeah,
We're whatever we want to be whenever we want to be it.
True that, dude. I am a
And
And we
today-
do
9-year-old
it better
boy.
than anybody else doing it.
And today, I don't want to be a UFC
All right,
podcast.
fair enough.
Ah, fuck. I keep breathing and having a shooting pain in my side. My eyeballs fucking falling apart, and I may die here in this chair. This may be my last podcast ever.
And then we can turn it into a UFC podcast.
And then you could go fucking full wrestling for all I care.
Top rope
Oh.
destruction coming soon.
Volume 2.
Chuck Liddell, I feel like, and I could be completely wrong, was kind of the bridge from the old UFC into the new technical UFC. Like
I
where
agree.
you could just be a fucking tough dude who could throw fists and still make your way through it without, like you're saying, being a super technical fighter.
Yeah.
I disagree, but I understand why you're looking at it that way. I think Matt Hughes was more that guy because he came up as a wrestler, but he learned the boxing and the actual, the stand-up martial arts.
Yeah.
And blended it together, and he was really one of the first guys that got in the ring as a mixed martial artist versus as a karate guy or a jiu-jitsu guy or something like that.
Just to interject, Matt Hughes did where my daughter did karate at, Matt Hughes trained a course there for MMA.
Yeah.
Like he did an MMA course there. Like he's actually been in the building when I was there for my daughter getting her yellow belt and whatever. So that was pretty cool. Matt Hughes is a beast. He has a couple great wins to his record.
Prof,
yeah,
my back's better.
But I think
I'm back in
fucking-
business.
I think Chuck is like I think about like the early days, and I think of like Hoist Gracie, and I think of Ken Shamrock,
Right.
and then I think of the
Yeah.
next big
Oh, he's
person that I think of is Chuck
Absolutely a
Liddell.
face, no question.
And then the final one would be Connor, because I just think the face of the UFC, not necessarily the greatest fighter of the UFC.
I
but
hate him, but you're not giving any love to John Jones at all to be the face for a little
Who
strong.
I've
also
never
just
seen.
got
I
in
couldn't pick
trouble
John
for
Jones
domestic
out of a
violence, I
lineup.
think.
Really?
Chuck
yeah,
Liddell
John
and
Jones has
Connor, I
gotten a
could
bunch
pull
of
out.
trouble. Yeah,
That's interesting. All right.
yeah. John Jones is he's the fucking goat. No, and as a real level, yeah, but as a money making level and eyes on the UFC, Connor is the guy that brought eyes to the UFC, similar to how Gracie and Shamrock brought eyes to the UFC in the early days, and similar to how Chuck Liddell, Tito. Who else would be in that group with Chuck?
Oh, that group, that's Chuck, that's Tito, that's Matt
Rampage
Hughes at that
Jackson.
point.
Yeah.
No, Rampage hadn't come over from Pride yet.
I believe that John Jones, just like Chuck Liddell, beat up his wife in the past month or so.
Yeah.
Last week, when he was out there for his Hall of Fame ceremony with the UFC, he went out and got drunk and went home. Apparently beat her up, and then when the cops came, tried to fight the cops.
I wonder what his wife did.
Yeah.
Or the cops. What did they do?
Yeah.
Fucking cops too.
These fucking cops. My daughter's going to be a cop for Halloween. That's what she chose to be.
I thought the outfit looked great. I saw it.
Thank you, man.
I think it's a good choice.
I
What
got-
you got to be a burglar.
Yeah,
You
so
gotta be
that's
a
what it
robber,
is.
dog.
So we got handcuffs that fit me.
Yeah.
And she's going to walk around, and I'm going to be in cuffs.
You got a striped shirt. How about a striped shirt?
That's what she wanted me to wear, but
Yeah,
I thought
come
that's like
on.
not very new school convict. You know what I mean? I thought maybe an orange jumpsuit, like
You
I
can
was
go
a
orange
runaway.
jumpsuit. You can go orange jumpsuit.
I probably can get one from Armor to Bomber. He probably got a couple spare ones hanging out
I
in the
don't doubt
closet. So yeah, but I was also just thinking black shirt with a mask, whatever, bag of money, you know what I mean, type
Yeah.
deal. But
Yeah.
whatever, I can doll it up. I don't mind getting black and white shirt. That's what she wanted me to do, was go straight black and white shirt. But is there convicts wearing black and white shirts still to this day? Black and white stripes? I mean, probably somewhere, right?
In some places.
What's that big high detention center in Colorado? I think they wear the black and white shirts. 'Cause I
Florence Supermax.
remember, yeah. I
It's
think they wear
possible
the
that
black
they
and
wear
white there.
they wear fucking darkness.
Yeah. What's
It's
up with
it's
that?
like under the ground. It's like the most maximum security prison in all of the U.S. So like guys like fucking Pistol Pete Pistol Pete like started Sex Money Murder Bloods, or like fucking high level what's his name, the guy from the GDs. Damn, I can't think of his name right now, but from Chicago, he's like ahead of all these kind of guys are who they lock up in Florence Supermax.
So they just send people over to that district because it's the highest security prison that we have in the United States?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like you're
Not sure. I remember
you're the
watching
worst
a
of the
documentary
worst.
on it, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
You're the worst of the worst.
So yeah, my daughter's going to be a cop. So we did like a little bit of a weekend this weekend with like some Halloween festivities.
Yeah.
So Friday night, I pick her up. And I'm like, hey, you want to do a haunted hayride? Because I remember going to a haunted hayride when she was like 3, and she handled it like a fucking champ. Like,
Hold
she
that
didn't
thought.
care. Good.
Bobby, I'd love to let you come in and put you on the camera, but the way that we're recording it, it won't be heard if we bring you in, and it fucks up kind of the process. But I appreciate you trying to
that
call
chat
in
going.
and chat with us, man. We're reading you. He's telling us that Israel
Adesanya?
is a badass,
Yeah, he is. But
and I believe it.
I lost a little bit of respect for Izzy with the what was the Romero fight? Was it Yoel Romero?
Yoel Romero's a fucking tough dude too.
They're
all
might
tough
be wrong,
fucking
but
bastards.
he fought him like a scared guy. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was Yoel. I don't.
Have you looked at Yoel?
Yeah, I'm
And
not
have
saying.
you looked at Izzy?
But I'm saying I've been a huge Izzy fan since like early days of him in the UFC. So
Yeah.
like I lost a little bit of respect.
You can't
in that
have
fight.
the same tactic against every
I know,
fight.
but, yeah.
And you got that dude.
So you went on a
he's built
hayride.
ridiculously.
So we went on the hayride. So I tell my daughter, I'm like, yeah, we're going to go to a hayride. And she's like, nah, I don't want to. I was like, all right, well, whatever. I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. I was like, that's kind of what I was thinking the plan was going to be. We'll go to the hayride. We'll get some s'mores. Now I'm trying to, make it more exciting, So whatever. We go there. Pennywise comes out. My daughter is petrified. She runs from me so fucking far away. Now, unbeknownst to me, her brother, who's 12 years old, watched it with her, right, in the room, probably trying to freak her out, right?
Right.
So she knows all about Pennywise, and she fucking is not okay. So Pennywise walks out with his hand out. The mask and the outfit is absolutely ridiculous. He looks fantastic. And I'm trying to. She runs away from me. I have no idea where she went. There's 200 people here outside of this fucking thing.
And she dove into
and
the
I
crowd.
can't find her. So now I'm freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, of
So
course.
then I find her. She's over there crying forever, right? So I'm sitting with her. I'm like, doll. I was like, I can't get a refund on this fucking hayride.
You got to get your shit
I was
together.
like, you got to
and we
get your
gotta
shit
out
together.
Later, Baba.
We took a walk. We walked around. Whatever. We
Little
figured it out.
cider.
I'm like, yo, we got to get over. I was like, it's just some. I kept on telling her, it's some 17-year-old girl that plays lacrosse wearing an outfit. That's what I
Right.
kept on. I was trying to, because I gave him a high five in front of her to be
Yeah,
like,
to
hey,
say, look,
and his
we're cool-
hand
we're
was
cool
so
with each
small. So like, I was like, this is
So
a
it must have
little
been a
guy.
girl. Yeah.
Oh, we got a girl in the chat.
Oh shit.
Stefani Brewer. What's up, Stefani Brewer? Good to see you here.
Yeah, so whatever. So then Beetlejuice comes out. Beetlejuice is like, I'm like, Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice is like a comedian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not a scary. He got the makeup on. He looked great. He had a great fucking.
He did his
it
thing.
Really
He did the
good.
Keaton.
Yeah, he did it really good. He couldn't push it out. Like, it was very quiet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he really did it good.
Yeah.
And he had like some of the lines and whatever. And I was chopping it up with Beetlejuice, and I'm like trying to get Dolly a little bit closer. And I'm like, Doll, I was like, say what's up to Beetlejuice, and you say what's up to Beetlejuice. We'll go on the fucking ride. We'll get done. I'll get you a funnel cake. We'll have s'mores.
We'll be good.
It'll be a good day.
Yeah.
Where was this at? Did you tell me where it was at?
Valley of Fear in
Okay.
Churchville. So I work in that area, Southampton, PA area. So I constantly am driving by these I drive right by this thing all
Yeah.
the time. So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
been in my head like we should go. And I went there before with her probably 3 years ago, and she was completely fine. I remember like leaving the haunted hayride being like, that thing was a fucking joke. Like that's a joke. Like that's so.
They are.
So I'm thinking in my head, like, this is no big deal. Now, because Dolly is older now and she's seen some scary shit, now she's scared.
Worse for the wear.
Yeah. So, won't even talk to Beetlejuice. Jason Voorhees comes out. They got some 6'6" dude to play
Nice.
Jason Voorhees, and his fucking costume looks sick. I don't know what kind of shit they had on his head, but his head looked like it was fucking peeling off. It was awesome, dude. I couldn't even get close enough to Jason Voorhees to say hello because my daughter was holding
Just
on to me
terrified,
and
shaking.
the ground as
Yeah.
much as humanly possible. And to me, I don't know that she even knows Jason Voorhees. You know?
But he looks scary.
Oh, sure does.
To me, Jason is my favorite of the
slasher guys.
Yeah, of like the Michael Myers. I love Michael Myers. Halloween movies are great. The Nightmare on Elm Street, but Jason, dude.
I've always had a real affinity for Scarface. No, Leatherface.
There it
Leatherface,
is.
yeah. Two different guys
Fall,
altogether.
I had an affinity for Scarface.
Carry on. Go ahead.
No, but I love the Jason. The Jason franchise is great because he ends up in space and it's all goofy. It's just a great franchise.
Yeah, yeah.
I just love. I'm a fanboy for Jason.
Well, you probably made out better than me because I don't even think I could get Sadie to get in the car if I told her we were going to a haunted thing.
Yeah.
My son won't go into Spirit because there's usually like some sort of skeleton-looking thing at
Oh,
the
you
front
guys are
door.
making me feel better because I honestly
she's
was
a
like,
kid,
I was
bro.
like,
She's a little
yeah,
girl,
and
of
she's a
course.
little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want her to be like, yo, this is because like for me, I'm also spooked, right? So like when I don't want to go in a haunted house with her because I'll get spooked and then she doesn't have big tough daddy to hide behind because I'm like, oh shit,
'Cause you're
fucking
bitch-made.
walking up
Yeah.
into it. There's something gonna be here, but like if I was going with you guys and we were going, I would wear it like these motherfuckers, man. You know what I mean? And just be trying to be funny the whole
Yeah,
time.
you fake it till you make
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But so I'm trying
Make
to
it out of there
I'm trying to
alive.
get her in that realm. I'm just being like, this is just some dude in a mask. Like, just challenge him. He's trying to scare you, so just look at him like you're just
Scare him
some
back.
dude wearing a
Yeah, yeah.
mask, dude.
I think
My
probably
dad does a real job, dude. What do you do?
True.
my dad's on a roof every day. That's real scary shit.
Yeah, man.
I think probably until I was I remember going at about 10 or 11 years old with the football team, maybe even like 12, 13, to Cribbit Acres Haunted Hayride.
Okay.
And at Cribbit Acres, I remember running through and they had the this was the hard shit, bro. They we're on the hayride and then our football song that we came out to was fucking Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
Sick.
Right? Which is a sick fucking song.
Yeah.
And we're on the hayride. Prof, you remember this? We're on the hayride and all of a sudden over the speakers, before we see anybody, Iron Man starts playing. And the complete opposite effect happens, and all these fucking 11-year-old kids get gassed up. We're like, yeah! Two dudes hop out with fucking chainsaws and start running around and running up and down the fucking hayride, and we're like, gassed up, yeah!
Yeah.
Because we were so fucking pumped every time that was our song. You know what I mean?
I remember when I was a kid, we went to Shady Brook is where we used to go when I was a kid, and they did I always remember, I was probably 4 years old. My dad used to always take me at things that I probably wasn't ready for. I also took Dolly when she was like 4 years old, and she could care less about the fucking thing. Now she cares, right? Anyway, they had one where there was some dude, and they had a tire pull. Like, you pull out into this field, and then the lights came on, bing! And there was a guy with his arms strapped to two tractors, and the tractors drove in separate directions.
Snapped them in half?
And pulled his arms out. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget it. Like, it was just fucking, was crazy. Anyway, so we get on this hayride. There's no sides to the hayride. You sit there with your feet dangling off the side, which is cool, because that's a little added, something going to grab my ankles or whatever. Then they tell you before, the actors cannot touch you. If they do touch you, let us know, and we'll handle it.
Right.
So then I'm telling Dolly, I'm like, they're not going to touch you. It's like, they might get really close to you, but they're not going to touch you. So we're sitting there, and we're handling it, and we're going. Dolly, we don't sit on the edge. She sits in front of me. And I'm like, you can sit on my lap if you feel any kind of way, dip your head if you get scared or whatever. I know that she's going through it. And I'm happy that she's, we're out here toughing it out.
Yeah.
The whole time she's constantly her head's on a swivel. And she's just like, what the fuck is going on? Sits on me, whatever. there's like 3 different tunnels that you go through where shit just like fucking falls down on you. Like people just come out
What's
of
falling on
nowhere,
you?
like animatronic shit.
Yeah.
And then like people just like jumping out of shit onto the fucking hayride and shit.
I was gonna say they're allowed to touch you now, though,
They're-
right?
in this one, they're not allowed to touch you.
Oh, okay.
So, for whatever reason, this big burly guy, like Payday size, but fucking like beard all over the place and just a maniac like
Wild
I am.
looking, yeah.
Like, and fucking gets right in Dahlia's face, like as close as I am to this microphone.
Oh, that
and
poor
goes,
little girl.
I'm gonna wear your face.
That's what's up.
And she's screaming with her head down like this. She's just like, get away from me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like holding her or whatever. And like, he's doing his job, but there's a part of me that wants to be like, dude, she's
Yo,
a fucking
dickhead.
little
Yeah.
girl, you
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, yeah.
slut. So whatever. So, but she handled it. So the next time we go through the tunnel, she just dips her head. The girl behind me, little girl, she's like 9 years old, comes to me and she said, they're going to get on the trail. Like she sees that I'm struggling with my daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's like, they're going to come up on the trailer in this and they're going to be all over the place. So I tell her, I said, Dal, just dip your head, put it in my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. And it was cool. Like she missed some cool shit because they were fire breathing in the tunnel
Yeah.
and shit. It was cool. But essentially it wasn't that big of a deal.
So, I mean, the thing that's jumping into my head is that you really won the fucking Dad of the Weekend award
Yeah, for
here.
sure.
Really a great choice that you made with this one.
To set her, set her on the right path by terrorizing her and then having strangers terrorize her too.
Yeah.
I think that's really good because now it'll be harder to terrorize her in the future.
But
I think that's
also,
true.
on the same token, you lit her all up and like filled her head with terror and scary shit, and then sent her home to her mom to deal with the nightmares all week.
And
so
this is all
not
just-
only did you win Dad of the Weekend, but also Baby
Husband
Dad
of
of
the
the
Weekend.
Weekend too.
Yeah.
Really
and all
killed
this
it.
was just so you could go on the hayride because that's all that was about. Was you needed a
I
partner for the
wanted to do
hayride.
something. No, I don't care about the hayride. I'd rather go with a bunch of boys and go to the fucking haunted house and have fun or whatever.
Because with a
I'm not
9-year-old
doing
girl,
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
with
don't
a
like spooky stuff.
Nah, I'm sorry. I don't got any friends, dude.
with a 9-year-old girl, you go on the pumpkin patch hayride.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do that too.
Yeah.
But it's Halloween
You do
time.
the corn maze.
Yeah.
You do the
All
corn
right,
maze.
guys. We're gonna do that too.
You
All
eat a
right.
shoe fly pie.
Yeah.
Or
Oh
something.
no, we're lost in the corn. Like, not here's a fucking guy who might actually kill
I'm
you.
gonna
I'm
eat
not
your
sure.
face.
There's levels.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
equivalent of scared straight for a 9-year-old girl.
Now,
This
whenever
national
Dahlia
coming
sees a
out
man
day.
in a custodian suit, she won't go anywhere near him. So
That's
this
it.
is perfect.
Well,
this
that's
is
great.
good.
That's
We're-
actually
I'm
probably
telling you,
very
I'm doing
good.
the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
things here. But anyway, I
Don't
said I
follow
had
a
to say this.
custodian into a closet.
No.
Learn that lesson
Yeah.
without any long-term trauma, we think.
Sure.
Um,
Doesn't seem like it.
so afterwards, I had a long week of keto.
All right. Have you weighed
Afterwards-
yourself this week?
No, I went back up. Here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So Friday, after the hayride, she wants a funnel cake. I'm like, Dal, I was like, you're not going to eat the whole funnel cake, and it's going to be hard for Daddy to throw it away. I was like, why don't we just get fried Oreos? She's like, I never had fried Oreos.
Right.
I'm
right,
like,
right.
well, you should try them. Like, they're delicious. They
Yeah.
might be better than funnel cakes.
I doubt
Like,
it.
Just try it.
They're really good, man.
I don't think I ever had one,
Oh,
but I
fried Oreos
really
are
love
bad.
funnel cake.
I ate 9 in a row each time. It's extremely not
Okay.
good to do.
No.
I almost had a heart attack.
But it speaks to the goodness of them.
yeah.
Yeah, they're delicious. And I haven't had one in forever, so I was trying to impose that onto my daughter. And also, I didn't want to eat a fucking funnel cake.
Again, Daddy imposing his will onto a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Okay. You're
So-
adding to your credentials this
So
weekend.
now I'm telling her, I'm like, we can get a s'mores kit and fried Oreos, or we can get a funnel cake. So I'm trying to sway her.
Trying to swear. Yeah.
So anyway,
absolutely.
I ended up, it was $1.50 for like 6 marshmallows. So I'm just like, let's just do the marshmallows and we'll do the funnel cake. So she eats 2 bites of the funnel cake, and then I finish the funnel cake.
Yeah.
Because I ain't shit.
You broke ketosis.
I broke it. And then I was already out of it, so then I ate frozen grapes that night. I had
Throw
grapes
it
in
to
the
the wind.
freezer, and I started just
grapes
getting crazy.
on keto?
You can't eat grapes on keto.
Because they're
so-
sugar.
Ah, sugar.
You had frozen grapes?
I love frozen grapes. They're my favorite all-time snack.
I'm not even sure what
You
what.
peel them first?
Do you
No,
freeze them
but that would be
yourself?
a good deal. Yeah,
or
yeah.
do
I
they
just
come
buy
like
the-
in a frozen bag?
No, I buy the pint, whatever the fuck it comes in, the big thing of grapes. And when I buy grapes, I only buy green grapes, and I only put them directly in the freezer.
Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe it breaks ketosis, but still a much better snack than some things that you could
Fried
choose at
Oreos.
night.
Yeah. Oh, I will.
Because I'll be fit all day until it comes to nighttime,
And
and
then
then,
it's
it's
Breyer's ice cream.
fucking. Then it's St. Joseph's cake. Sometimes 2 of them in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm.
Briars?
I was just making a thing out, dude.
What are
you're
you
not big
into?
on Breyers?
Briars? I mean, I wouldn't go Briars.
What ice
What do
cream
you
I
go?
I
like?
like Friendly's ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Their brand.
I-
That's
I-
pretty good.
I take Breyers over Friendlies.
Yeah.
I like. You know what I like?
Blue
Turkey
Bunny
Hill.
a lot.
I like
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Turkey
Turkey
Hill.
Hill.
Peanut butter ripple.
I like the Turkey Hill Rocky Road I grew up on, and I like the Turkey Hill mint chocolate chip. Mint chocolate chip, I love mint chocolate chip, but Turkey Hill mint chocolate chip is my boy.
I like Turkey Hill too.
Turkey Hill's good. Friendly's has some cool flavors.
What'd you grab, Lou? Lou grabbed Breyers from the supermarket just now. Let's see what Lou's flavor is. What do you think Louis G gets?
Neapolitan.
He's a strawberry guy.
I think Louis G's a vanilla guy.
Okay.
I think he keeps it simple. He does vanilla, and then
Whatever he's
probably
topping it with.
he tops
I
it
got
with
you.
something at the crib. Maybe like a wet
He
walnut.
plays it once it's at the house. He can play with it.
Well, let's take this into consideration. He is Greek, so he may have vanilla ice cream with lemons
Do they have a feta?
and grape leaves
Do
on
they have
top
a
of
feta
it.
ice cream?
It's quite
Or tzatziki ice cream?
tzatziki ice. Is it tzatziki ice cream that you got, Lou? Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Anyway, so then we went to the Silver
Chocolate.
Diner.
Louis went with chocolate.
Yeah.
I dig
It's a
it.
classic.
Yeah.
What we do Saturday? I forget.
Did you just get up Saturday and like start punching her in the face?
Yeah, I just pulled a
Just to
straight
switch
chocolate
things up a
Dell on
little
her.
bit.
Give it, give her
You're
hell
like,
from
"You
a
made me
different
eat
angle.
Grapes.
Yeah. You made me eat grapes.
You still scared from yesterday? Here, how about this?
Yeah. I'll wear your face.
I'll give you something to be scared about.
God damn.
That's
I
how
can't
he
remember
woke
what
her
we did
up.
Saturday.
He was like, "Damn, I can't
With a
believe
mask
it's
on.
8:30. She's still sleeping,"
Oh,
and just
Saturday-
fucking hangs over her face. I'll wear your face.
Yeah. Saturday I did laundry, but then we got our cop outfit and we had fun just shopping around and doing shit like that.
Right.
And then Sunday we went to Monster Mini Golf over here. So I went to the Silver Diner, which I do like the Silver Diner.
I've never been to the Silver Diner.
It's extremely expensive. Have you been there, P?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Where is it?
Yeah,
It's across the
Cherry
street
Hill.
from the Cherry Hill Mall on 38.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it's and they have it's like some kind of chef meal or whatever.
They do the
Anyway,
farm to table deal.
yeah. I had the chicken and waffles, and the sausage gravy was fucking immaculate. It was some of the best sausage gravy I ever had in my entire life.
He
You
looks
all right,
so
Coach?
disappointed in you.
Yeah.
No.
This is your eyeball?
My eyeball. I'm
Your
falling
back.
apart, dude.
No,
I'm falling
so
apart.
sorry, man.
The camera's on Biz though, so the people don't see that I'm not as tough as
All right,
I
so we won't
portray
bring
to
it
be.
up.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. And then we went to Monster Mini Golf. You ever do that? My daughter's a beast at mini golf, dude. Like, my daughter gives me a run for my money every time. I beat her every time because I'm not fucking a slouch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she is really good, dude. Like, when she fucking focuses, she can hit, like, a good, 20-yard putt. Like, she's fucking legit good at mini golf.
So can we get her into real golf?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we could do
Let's
that.
try and push that.
Yeah.
You want me to teach her how to golf?
Do you
Yeah,
golf?
Joe taught me how to golf.
You golf?
A little bit. I go to the driving range. I wouldn't consider that golfing.
Is that
but
who
I
you've been
enjoy
going
it.
to the driving range with when you say
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
going? Okay.
yeah, and we talk about life and why we're both not good enough. We're like, "Do you think I'm not good enough?" And he's like, "Yeah, I absolutely think you're not good enough."
And then you
Like,
let him know. So this is where all
Then
of
he's like, "Do you think I'm not good enough?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not."
Well, for weeks we've been trying to get to the bottom of Biz's self-hatred. So I'm glad that Biz's self-hatred walked into the building tonight.
Yeah.
And we finally gotten to the
You
bottom
just have
of it.
misery loves company.
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Wow, man, you're a real piece of shit, man. Why you keep inviting me to the golf course?" No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
good times, dude. I love going to driving. We got to go again with Nate, dude. It'll be great.
I think it's a solid. I think it's a solid activity to hang with the boys if you want to chat about life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Because there's no competition, so you're not breaking each other's balls.
Yeah.
Kinda. There's a little bit of competition, but nothing. Not seriously. Not like an actual game of golf.
It's more so like
right?
we're talking shit.
Yeah, it's
on
more like you know
that's
your
a whiff.
limits too, because it's not like he's gonna. Chances are maybe outdrive me because
Right.
he's just a bigger guy and
Right.
a stronger guy. I'm not that strong, but also at the same time, it's all.
It's a lot of technique
It's
with
not,
golf.
Yeah, it's really not anything to do with strength.
You look like a
It's all
guy who has
about
good
the-
hips, and I feel like golf's
Yeah,
in the hips.
It's
so
all in the hips.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
that's Happy Gilmore.
That's why that's why
Good
Top Golf
callback.
is great, because you can go and it's still just like being at the driving range with a slight adding
With
of
a beer.
competition to it. Right, and they got alcohol there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. It's like I'm not much of a drinker even when I did drink. Now I'm at 77 days stone cold raw dog in life. Thank you.
I tried. Okay, there it goes.
There
now
it
it
is.
is.
All right, I appreciate it. So Joe doesn't drink or anything like that
God
too.
bless.
So a lot of my friends are sober, but when there's fucking things to do, like that's a good thing to do. Like I'm not gonna go meet up at the bar and go have a conversation, but we can go fucking hang out, hit some balls, and get some shit off my chest. Or
Yeah,
his
when you
chest
get
or
off
our
of the
chest.
shit, you need things to do.
Yeah.
One of the
Gotta
most
occupy your
vital,
time.
one of the most vital things in my life when I got off of the shit was finding other shit to do instead of the shit.
Right.
Like And we've discussed this before. I go full-fledged into whatever fucking hobby I pick, right? So at one point, Tess, this fucking slob of a dog who we see walking around here, I had her in tip-top athletic shape because
She's
I
out
was
jogging.
I was a fucking dog trainer at the time. Like, I was watching fucking pit bull, like American
The Pit Bull
Bully
Rescue.
videos on fucking YouTube. I'm like, I could train Tess to do that.
Yeah.
And I did, kinda. She doesn't listen a lot, so
Yeah, I got a puppy like a couple months ago, and I was on the same, like watching this dude on YouTube, and he was just like super nice and calm with the dogs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to kill this fucking thing every day.
Oh,
It
dude.
just doesn't work that way.
we had a puppy named Ace, right? And because we had Tess, and then Steph's like, I think Tess needs a friend. So we went there. So I found online somebody who was selling pit bull puppies. I'm like, all right, let's go fucking pick one up. We put the address in the GPS. It's in Bridgeton, right? We drive down to Bridgeton, to the fucking gutters of Bridgeton, right? The fucking front porch is falling off of this house. I call the dude. I'm like, hey, is this the house? He's like, oh, yeah, you got to come in the back door. The front door's kind of fucked up. Because the porch is fucking falling
There's no
on it,
porch.
right?
Yeah.
We
I need
go-
a ladder to get to the front door.
Go around back. I knock on the back door, and he comes out of the basement. Like, you know, the fucking Belco doors
Yeah.
that fucking fold up that you walk down into a basement? He, like, pops one up. He's like, oh, we're down here. I'm like, all right. You know what
Are
I mean?
you there with your girl?
Yeah, she's there with
Oh,
me.
great. This
My
is beautiful.
beautiful young white girlfriend in the middle of the hood of Bridgeton, right? With a big butt.
Right.
Terrible, terrible. I love her to death, but it's rough bringing her some places because she's got such a nice butt.
Yeah,
But,
1,000 Blakes. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Your wife's beautiful, and she's got great teeth.
No doubt.
She's a good man, actually.
Yeah. All right.
So he opens up the Bilco door. He's like, we're down here. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So we wander. We climb down these rickety basement steps. And I'm like, so where's the puppies? He's like, oh, they're over here. We climb through a junk-filled fucking basement, right? And in the back corner, there's a space of about 5 foot by 5 foot cleared with lizard lamps all over it, right? Just shining down hot light onto a mom who's just laying there and like 4 or 5 little pit bull puppies climbing all over each other. We picked the one who seemed to be the spunkiest, right?
Yeah, never do that.
I learned that. I learned that lesson the hard way. So we picked this little pup. He was a good-looking pup. I'm like, he was wet. He didn't have his shots and shit yet. Like, he was too young to be away from the mom.
Right.
But I justified it by looking around the house
You were
and the
saving
care.
him.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, we got to get him out of there, you know?
He can't be in here forever.
So what was originally listed as a $400 puppy, I talked him down to $175.
Solid.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah, and took my puppy Ace with me. Now Ace, we were relatively unsuccessful at the time.
Okay.
Right? As a family.
Right. Financially, you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of buying like all the puppy accoutrement, we had like some baby gate that we somehow got and put that up and then put like a blanket over top of it, right? We're like, he can't get out of there. We wind up like filling it up in this certain way so that we knew he couldn't get out because he kept getting out.
Right.
One time I go for work. He was so totally like there's no way he could have got out. This thing was fucking 4 feet high. I felt fully comfortable. I come home and Ace is gone. I'm like, where the fuck is this little
got
fucker?
out.
He got out and disappeared into the house. I would be laying down. He would get out of his thing and like in the middle of the night come sit on my chest and I'll be sleeping. I'll be like, oh, a nice little puppy. And
Wait a
then
minute.
I feel a fucking warm puddle
Oh, nice.
on my chest. And he would just pee
Hold
straight
that for
on
me.
me. Which as it turns out, I'm into.
Yeah.
Because I kept letting him do it.
You didn't realize
He's
that's
waking
what
up with
wet
a
dreams
raging
meant.
wood and a warm chest.
Fucking Ace Boogie Bang. Ace Boogie Cove. That was my puppy story.
All right.
Puppies, man.
What's your puppy's name? What kind of puppy you got?
I have a corgi.
All right.
Yeah.
One of the dogs that I've hated most in my life was a half corgi.
Yeah.
But we won't get into that
That's
story.
fine. And his name's Nike because that was his name on the website, and I have a lot of sneakers. So I
Nice.
thought it was like
Nike
a sign
works.
from God.
Yeah, Nike.
Yeah.
Do you call him Nike? Yo, Nike.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Nike.
I told him to name him Corgi Miller.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Huh?
But,
Yeah.
All right.
Do you see any similarities between Corgi Miller and Corey Miller?
Same size dick.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And it's fucking bright red.
Yeah. Very strange. Nah, but I got him, and my buddy has a bulldog named Biggie Smalls, and he was upset over the name. And he was like, what kind of fucking name is that? Like, I got upset at this dude who's my friend. I was, like, sensitive about it. And I
Who
like,
was?
"You named
Wait,
your
who?
bo-"
You were upset at Biggie Smalls, or Biggie
He was
Smalls was
upset-
upset at Nike?
My buddy was upset that the dog's name was Nike.
Yeah.
And he's like, what kind of jerk off? Like, made a Facebook status
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. I was like, wow, dude, he's really upset about this.
What did he feel like you should have named it? Did
I
he
don't
give
know,
you a
but I was like,
suggestion?
you also have a bulldog named Biggie Smalls. Which
Did he
is
want you
pretty-
to name it Puff
Did
Daddy
he,
or something?
did he clarify why he was mad that it was Nike?
Nah, he's just that type of guy.
Okay.
Just to get upset over
Just
something.
that
yeah.
particular name set him off. No
Yeah.
particular reason.
Well, I think that it's nice of you that you gave him something to be upset about.
Yeah,
Because
I
he
was
seems like the
doing a
guy who
service.
wants to be. Yeah.
Yeah, but we got him off a website, so it was his name already.
Yeah, run with
Which,
it.
like, some Mennonite Amish dude named him that,
Right.
which is more weird, because I'm like, is there another meaning for this?
Probably. It's probably a
Yeah.
meaning for Nike somewhere.
Well, Mennonites, as I've found out recently, I've been doing a lot of Amish and Mennonite research. Mennonites are pretty worldly.
Yeah.
Like Mennonites they'll wear
They're
regular
like Amish,
clothes.
but they can use
Amish
electricity
light,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Amish light.
Yeah. They're light.
Yeah.
But they're
Amish
strange
light.
people. We went to go buy the
sure.
dog, and I think he was like $1,400 and $1,490. And like we gave him like $1,500, and he was like, "I owe you $10," and we were like, "We're good. We don't need
We're cool.
the 10.
Yeah.
We're just
So,
consider it a bonus." You
yeah,
know?
yeah. You came with a weird price off the rip here.
Yeah, it's already a
So
lot.
we're trying to like even things out for you, bring you to the real world. But it seems like also from my research in Amish and Mennonites, they have a very nice community,
Yeah.
right? Like they kind of got things figured out.
they have
so
a very
to speak.
strong community.
Very strong community. Yeah. They have. I actually saw in Ohio, where there's a large Amish Mennonite population, they do a auction where people from the community donate things, some new shit, some used stuff, but they pretty much are donating very nice new things to this auction. Everybody shows up at the auction, starts bidding on whatever the things are. They have stuff from like children's toys all the way up to horse and buggies, right? That you can buy. So you could spend $5 on a kid's toy, or you could spend $5,000 on one of these Cadillac buggies, right?
Right.
And all the proceeds go to a fund that then pays basically medical bills for children who are in that community. But not only the Mennonite and Amish kids who
Just the
are
kids.
what they call them English. If you're not Mennonite or Amish, you're
Right.
English. Just English kids as well. So I thought that was like a really cool thing that they did, because it's like health insurance for kids who don't have health insurance.
Right.
And just some guy decided to start it years and years ago, and they had grown into a thing that makes like $700,000 when it happens,
Yeah, that's crazy.
which could be, that could cover a lot of medical bills or like one,
Yeah, or
depending
one
on
big
what's
one.
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, that damn kid ruined it for everybody else.
Yeah.
That big.
Well, you just got to have another auction at that point.
Yeah, I did a landscape job with this guy who was a Mennonite, and he was a really strange guy, and he would get really red when anyone cursed. Like, he'd get like really like turned off.
Embarrassed.
We worked with a lot of Mexican guys, Guatemalan guys, whatever, and he talked to me the same way he would talk to someone who spoke no English. So
Yeah.
there was a few white guys that worked there, whatever, black guy, whatever,
English
American
guys.
there it goes.
Englishmen.
Yeah, Englishmen. A few Englishmen that worked aside us. And he would do the same thing. He'd talk a lot with his hands and real slow.
Like you were a foreigner.
Like you were a foreigner. So he'd be
well,
like,
you kind of are a foreigner to him.
yeah, I guess. But he'd be like, you need to grab the wheelbarrow.
Right.
And like, this is like, we'd be fucking in the truck driving to the job. And he'd be like, so when you get there, you grab the wheelbarrow and you go over to the thing and then you load the mulch. It's like, yeah, dude, this is my 9th mulch job. Dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I get it. Man.
Pretty
I know how we're doing it.
self-explanatory after the first, none.
was
to
just-
make sure you got it.
It was
dude.
so funny, that
Was
guy.
he the boss?
No, he was just a foreman.
Okay.
So when I did jobs with him, when I worked at that place, it wasn't a long fledged job that I had, but I liked doing the mowing, and the mulching is a fucking extremely difficult job when you're doing like the YMCA or you're
Yeah,
doing
well, here's
like,
the thing,
oh
though.
my God.
Nowadays, you'd be a mulch monster.
Yeah, I might
Back
be.
then, you were a little bit out of shape. You were like,
I was all right. In that time frame, I was just about where I'm at now as far as weight wise. I might be a little stronger
Yeah, but
now.
you got a sturdier base now.
That's sturdy.
Regardless of
Diamond
your
cuts
corgi
now,
dick.
man.
So Joe, we have you here for a reason. So let's talk about gatekeeping in the drug community.
Gatekeeping in the drug community.
Yeah.
Over to you, Joe. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this has been a huge issue in the drug community lately. A lot of drug folks have been coming to me, and
they're upset because they're new drug users, and they don't want the old drug users telling them that they can't do
like,
it
yeah.
because they're just not cool enough.
Cove, listen, I just started using, and it really feels like I'm never gonna make it to heroin with the way these guys are acting.
They tell me just because I'm using the newest technology, somehow it's bad that I do it that way.
So, so elaborate on gatekeeping for us.
Gatekeeping. That's a good thing. I didn't even know there was gatekeeping.
I thought there was, dude.
I feel like there's like a sense of superiority.
I think this is more the recovery community.
Yeah, with the recovery community.
Which happens
when I was
how?
talking earlier, like if I'm on stage, I'll just say, for lack of a better word, doing heroin, but I was doing like 80s and 30s. And then that's when they're just like, oh,
that's
loser.
it?
Yeah. They're like, why don't you go get a real problem? I was like, I think it was pretty bad if I ended up here with you. You know what I mean?
Well, why do you do heroin if it was oxys? Just for effect? Or why do you say heroin as opposed to oxys?
I guess it's more shock value. I don't know.
So do you think that
I just feel like it rolls off the tongue better than be like, you remember doing Oxy 80s? That's like too much. I mean, you'd be like,
I don't know.
remember
I
heroin,
think it's
guys?
pinpoint to, I think a lot of people had a, Oxy 80 thing going on. You know what I mean?
That is true.
I don't know, man.
Oxy 80s might be more relatable than heroin.
It
You
might
know what
be.
I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Depends on your crowd, right?
Yeah, it depends on the crowd, dude.
Now, this was a thing that came up in stand-up on your special called
It's Fine.
which is available.
Amazon Prime.
So
I hate that it rhymes, too. And I hate it that rhymes.
I love that it rhymes.
Yeah.
I love that it rhymes with prime and fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that you're a man dime and you've performed it all. So, I mean, it really ties it all together.
There you go.
Yeah. Man dime.
So,
Wow,
yeah, you
dude.
did a fucking stand-up special at, how long were you doing comedy at that point?
6 months.
And then why did you do that?
Because Steve Skaggs wanted to record a comedy album.
And so
So
you
that's
just
literally
did it.
the only reason
Yeah.
we did it. Then he was like, when would you want to do it? And my sobriety date's April 5th, so that's the day we shot it. And I forget what it was. I think I had 6 years or 5 years. I really don't remember.
Yeah.
Because I was trying
It's
to
all a
remember
blur
how
at
old
this
it
point.
is, because I got 8 years now. So I think it was 6.
What was the venue?
Marston House.
Oh, so
We did it in
Was
the
there a
Cypher
crowd?
room. Yeah.
So
There was like
I don't think
150
you ever
people
been-
there.
Yeah, it was like the most people that you could ever fit in that room. It was incredible how many people were in that room.
probably better than their ciphers, apparently, then.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah. Well,
Listen,
there was
I've been-
There's a lot of great people
I was
in
in
those
the
ciphers.
I was in a cipher.
I'm a fan of the Cypher.
But there was never any crowd at the ciphers.
Oh, well, no. Well, the crowd of rappers.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is it's up 4 flights of steps of an abandoned window factory, as I'm sure you guys know, but for the people listening.
Yeah.
And there's no chairs in there. So I needed to rent the chairs, which gave me anxiety all week because I just didn't
Renting
want
the
to.
chairs? Because you didn't want to carry them up.
I didn't want to. Well, that was it. My buddy Joey ended up helping me because he
Yeah.
owns a moving service. So we loaded the chairs up, and he's like a strong guy. So like he took most of them up.
Right.
I took some up. Then the next day I had to redo it again. But like I had dudes in the comedy scene that were like, "Yo, that place was dope. We should do another show there." I'm like, "You understand? There's no chairs there, right?"
Right.
And they're like, "Well, what's the big deal?" I'm like, "Do you know how bad it sucks?"
Well,
Like-
let's figure this out real quick.
Make it a BYOC show.
I rented 80 chairs, I think.
Okay, and what did that run you?
I forget. I ended up knowing the dude who owns like an events place.
Oh, you knew a guy.
Yeah, I knew a guy
Yeah.
from Applebee's.
Yeah.
Actually, ironically enough, the one thing came from Applebee's.
Yeah.
where they were like,
Pick up the chairs from Costco. They're cheap enough. Then they're nice. They got the padding.
yeah.
Then you do the initial outlay. Then everybody else who comes through has to rent the chairs from you, and then you don't have to
Then
worry
I
about
have a
moving them around,
conglomerate in
and
my
you can make
hands.
some money. Yeah.
There you go.
I went to go see Yanni Poppy.
Where at?
At Soul Joel's.
I was there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Went in it was like the beginning of the summer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I brought my own chair.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I did a couple open mics at Joel's,
Yeah.
and like I just didn't think because my buddy Brendan opens up a lot of those shows.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. I was just talking to him. I was like, "Yeah, you go." And then I got there, and they were like, "You didn't bring a chair," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't think about that."
Well, I say that to say that this is like you're on the forefront of
Yeah.
this situation because Yanni's a big name, bro, and
Yeah.
Soul Joel's is kind of a poppin' club. So you were doing that before anybody. You were making people bring their own chairs before anybody else did.
But he
Yeah.
did.
So
He
you're
brought
really
the chairs for everybody.
I know, but for the
And I
sense
also
of what
don't
I'm
know
doing
the
here,
difference between brought and bought, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm
bought
dumb.
and brought,
Yeah. Well, I do now, but
bought and brought.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he-
people do confuse that shit, right?
yeah, because what my
It's usually
podcast-
the underprivileged.
my podcast, and thanks for sharing. I was saying we are brought to you by every week
No, you didn't.
For 40 episodes.
For like 40 episodes, and I think it was him that came on and was like, just so you know, you're saying the wrong word. And then
Yeah, if you're gonna have 46 sponsors, at least say that they're brought to you by. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
but then for weeks after, I kept saying bought, but not like ironically funny. Like I was like so conscious about it. I was like, am I saying the wrong thing still?
Yeah, no, I think you got to stick with bought to you by.
Yeah.
At this point.
It's a gimmick now.
Have you
great.
been? Or
No, I
have you
say
now
brought
switched
now,
it?
and
Yeah,
I
nah.
get like a little grin on my face, like I'm like king shit of fuck mountain. I'm like, guys, I did it.
Well, now you figured it
yeah,
out.
I'm like, I
You
said
solved
brought.
the fucking
It only
equation.
took 46 episodes,
And
but what are you gonna do?
You should be damn proud of that.
Yeah.
What are you doing on your new venture now? Like, what's your plan, dude? You're just gonna figure it out, throw it to the wind? You said you're taking a week off. You're gonna start next
Yeah,
week.
we're taking a week off because
All
my
right.
buddy Davron, who's the best, he does all the Dumb Ugly music videos. I'm
Yeah.
sure you're familiar
I'm
with
familiar
him.
with that,
Yeah.
Ron. Yeah.
He just, I don't know. He's a busy guy. And he was doing my podcast for super free. So I was like, so I'm going to buy a camera and a laptop, and I don't know technology at all. So I'm just like, I hope this works. But he's going to teach me, I guess.
You need somebody to teach you.
Yeah, he's going to teach me. He's not leaving me high and dry.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets confusing.
Yeah.
We can attest
Like all
to that.
this is giving me anxiety. Like you guys have stuff set up. and
Well,
you're
that's
ready to
Payday.
go.
Payday
Yeah.
is my Davron, and the Lord has
Yeah.
blessed me with Payday because without him,
Lord.
I think I'd probably be just
shouting out
talking
the
into my
window.
tablet.
Yeah.
yeah, yelling out into the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what I assume mine's going to be like. Because,
Yeah.
like, when he was, like, telling me, he's like, well, you got a laptop, right? I was like, nah. And he was like, you need to get one of those.
Yeah.
And then my main plan was, like, I know so many people who are, like, tech savvy, for lack of a better word. I'll just get a camera
Yeah.
and give it to them. And I'd be like, you don't even got to edit anything. Just,
Do you know how to do the editing?
Doesn't even
you
have a
know what? I
laptop.
technically
Because
should.
but you
Because
don't
in high
have
school,
you don't have a lot of editing. You
we
run
just put them
straight
right
through.
up.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
just
yeah.
put them straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to ask Davron to do anything more than
Yeah.
what he's doing already.
Yeah.
Because I already feel like I'm putting them out.
I understand that. Don't say too much of this stuff in that lane because I'm a slave driver for Payday.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna start thinking
Calls
maybe.
at 3 a.m.
Yeah, he might
Yeah.
fuck around
You
and
get
like
it up yet? You upload it yet?
he
All right.
he might like pull you to the side when you guys walk out of the
Yeah.
studio here. Like, hey, look,
Be
I'm
like, I'm available.
I'm looking
Yeah.
for a new guy to work for
I need,
free.
I need
so.
somebody more laid back.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
sound like a better guy to not pay
I'm
me.
the ultimate. I'm literally like the worst person to do stuff because I'm too laid back. Where I'm just like I don't care about.
we'd never get
any of
anything
it.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe's
We'll
like
get to it. We'll get to it. Never get
Joe's
to it.
like a closet Buddhist. Like Joe's like very whatever about anything. He's like, yeah, shit just happens, dude. You know,
It
you
does.
Just fucking let it
It
go, and
does,
it usually
yeah.
just falls into place or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's very true.
Yeah.
I find myself trying to strike a balance between not giving a fuck and not giving a fuck too much. I like to think I fall in the right spot, but what the fuck do I know? You know what I mean?
Like obviously you need to care about things, but do you? You know what I'm saying?
Like, what do you really need to care about? Let's
Yeah.
talk about the things that you really need to care about. Testicle hair,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? So this week,
Amen.
I'm not good at trimming the actual testicle hair. Everything around, I find the actual testicle hair is like a problem.
it's tough.
Yeah, because I'm like, what do you do here?
Yeah, here's the thing, right?
I don't trim shit.
Here's what this is. I have been on it for a long time. We're talking like recovery and stuff like that, right? So for a long time, I've been living a relatively safe lifestyle. I stopped running through the hood. I stopped, playing with illegal drugs, illegal guns, illegal people. I stopped sleeping with dirty girls a long time ago.
Good for you.
I became a father. My life settled down. I still look for a thrill sometimes in different places, and it's hard to find. So, but this week, I stumbled across one of the most thrilling things, one of the most dangerous, wholeheartedly probably dangerous. I'm looking for another fucking synonym to dangerous, and I'm coming up empty.
Have you considered dangerous?
Very dangerous.
Exhilarating?
Exhilarating.
There we go.
The exhilaration
Words.
that I experienced when I took a straight razor to my scrotum this
Oh
week
my god.
Oh,
was
yeah, that's
unparalleled.
terrifying, yeah.
It was fucking scary, bro.
What?
So
What?
you get excited now for the hair to grow back in.
But the final product, like, have you ever touched a fucking 6-month-old testicles?
No.
You ever touched a baby's nuts, bro?
No, I don't think I have.
Just like that, except a little, like, the same, well, maybe a little bigger, but not much.
Yeah.
More stubble.
Yeah.
So
What brings you to put a
I'm-
straight razor to your testicle? The thrill.
I'm a man who keeps things organized down there as well.
Yeah.
And I usually just use a regular Gillette or whatever I can get my
Yeah,
hands on.
yeah, of course.
What makes you decide to go, you know what? This Gillette is just not doing it for me. I need to go with probably the most devastating utensil I can put down there and hope for the best.
Well, I was trying to give
Like,
my
what's your before you get to shaving your balls?
Yeah.
What's your experience with shaving with a straight edge at all?
Well, what brought me there was I was looking for a new haircut for my hammer.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Now
You going with the fade?
you don't have we don't have as many options as the ladies.
No, we really don't. We
Right.
got the landing strip and the Dorito are the extent of it, pretty much.
Yeah, and not even really.
No.
You know what I mean? A nicely trimmed square is about as good as
Yeah,
you go. So
yeah.
I was trying to, we discussed earlier, I'm an outside the box thinker.
Sure.
And I'm thinking and
Speaking
I'm
of
thinking
which,
and I'm thinking, right? And I thought to myself, like, what was a fly haircut back in the day, right? Like the high top Gumby to the left.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
dope,
Yeah.
right?
That was-
A couple stripes in it.
Couldn't really figure out how to do that, right?
That's gonna take you a while.
You know,
You gotta grow it out.
like the skin fade was popping for a while.
Yeah.
Cornrows, dude.
That could have worked, but I don't have the skill to fade it.
Right.
And then I thought back to kindergarten when I had the lightning bolts in the side of my
Okay,
head,
yeah, yeah.
and the fucking lightning bolt struck above my head at that point, and I was
I
like,
got it.
I'm shaving a fucking line in my 3 lines in my shit trying to wow out. So the way to do that was with a straight razor. I found these disposable straight razors at CVS, which are great for trimming your beard up. And I was down there shaving a line in it, and I was like, you know what? This could be really smooth if it goes smoothly. And thank God it did.
You also got to be somewhat of an artist to make a lightning bolt.
I feel like,
I
yeah.
can't.
I feel
make
like yes.
one, you know.
Yeah.
So you're probably pretty.
I
handy
learned from Walt the barber.
I always
Shout out
just
Walt, dude.
Yeah.
trim them. I just take a scissor and I trim the long ball hairs, but that's not enough. Like, I don't know. I feel like that fucking look is like, I don't want to get like too. What am I gonna be all? I don't know. That's not. I don't know. That just seems like,
coming.
Just seems like
coming.
I feel like that's
I
just
hear you, Prof.
a lot, dude.
Yeah, listen, for you, maybe so. But I am the freshest kid out here.
I understand, but
so-
I'm saying like if I'm a chick and I'm seeing like some freshly, is that what your chick wants? Like a baby balls?
I can only speak for
No,
one chick.
no, she wants a collection of all your sweat and vile nastiness cropped up in your hair, along
Wasn't
with
that
the
part
fucking
of being a woman
lint
is
from your
loving the
underwear.
smell of a man and all the grossness that comes along with us? I don't know. I really don't know. I've done it in the past. I remember this one girl was all about, she like shaved dicks. I shaved my dick. I probably did it a couple times in my life.
That's a step further than I'm willing to go.
Yeah,
You're
so
talking crazy now.
Yeah, so I shaved it, and it looked like a baby boy's dick, and then I was over it.
Doesn't it always?
Well, the size of it, yeah.
No, it
my
looks like a
balls are
corgi's
huge,
dick
though.
Oh, I
Usually.
got you.
My balls are massive, or at least
Sure.
that's what they tell me,
And do
because
you
my dick is
take
not.
that as a badge of honor, them being massive?
All
Some people are
potatoes, no
weird.
meat.
They're like, "What are your balls like?" And I'm like, "What does that?" Who
A girl that
cares?
loves balls is the girl for me, because
True.
that's all I got going on down there.
Especially if she has big feet.
Yeah, my God.
A big foot, big ball loving
Also,
babe.
nothing on
That's
the
a home run.
nothing on the Maya front at Wawa recently.
Did
I've
you
haven't
see
had-
her?
Yeah, I saw her
Did
today.
did you say anything more
She was
than
talking to another customer.
"Thanks for the
in line.
change"?
She was talking to a customer that was already out of line. He had his nails done. He had a lot of nose rings.
Probably had his
Probably
balls
has
shaved.
balls shaved too.
Yeah, he probably did. I wouldn't. She was like, "Can you open this for me? I don't want to break a nail." And he was like, "I don't either, girl."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, dude, this is a lot."
You got outclassed there.
But he was looking at her on the way out, because I was looking at her, and then I seen him looking at her, and I'm like, he's just a little on the other side, but he's also
Well, he
still
was
trying to.
it is National Coming Out Day. So
Yeah, so maybe that was it.
yeah.
What's up with Applebee's, dude? You love it over there, dude? You got
every day is a great.
So what's up with these
adventure,
chain
man.
restaurants? Am I
right? I'm
How about
fearful
those
that
2 for
they're
20
listening.
appetizers?
What about
right?
that airline food? You hear me?
Yeah. I always get people always come in and they just think of another franchise restaurant and they're just like, "Yeah, I'll take the Jack Daniel's sauce." I'm like, "That's next door."
That's not us.
Yeah.
that's
I got it last
Fridays,
time I
man.
was here. That's
Yeah.
not us.
Yeah, you got the
So
unlimited
you're-
I
appies.
swear.
You're a waitress?
I'm a bartender, but it
Okay.
would be waiter because I have a penis. Yeah.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
Joe's penis is world renowned. Dude.
Is it?
I have
No
a
bullshit.
dick, yeah.
What's going on?
Yo, I don't know, because I never personally, all right?
Here, listen.
But the word on the street is that it got an elbow and an area code.
Pull it up.
It's my greatest shame in life.
Let's see
To
it.
be honest, I don't want to.
All right.
Joe, do you ever measure it?
Lately, no.
So
Well,
with
when's the last time you
Applebee's,
met
so
him?
with Applebee's,
I want to
with
know.
Applebee's.
Well, we should
because I
talk
could
about
I
it.
could tell that Joe doesn't want to talk about his dick, and
Yeah,
we
no,
just
but-
talked about everybody's testicles for the past 15
I
minutes.
just want to
Yeah,
know how
we
long.
hit-
I don't
we
know.
hit our
You came
genital
on my
limit.
Yeah.
podcast and talked about my dick for an hour straight.
Yep.
Yes, it's true.
'Cause
But we never got to the point of how big it actually is.
As it turns out, everybody just left. All 17 people in the chat just left.
All right.
To
Well,
no
what are you
one's
gonna
chagrin.
Yeah.
do? What are you gonna
They were
do?
like, "This is where I."
All right.
draw
What's the
line."
worst? What's your worst customer experience working at Applebee's?
I don't know.
Do you feel like because you're the bartender, you don't get treated as poorly as like the table side people because you have that,
Yeah, I think you
take
get a
that
little
thing
more
to offer
respect.
them?
Well, I got a couple people who just don't put together because during the day, I only work during the day. I get
Okay.
tables too, so
Okay.
I don't think people put together, even though the
Okay.
bar's in the middle
Gotcha.
of the whole restaurant. They
Right.
see me back there.
Could be your twin brother.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't let it like really get to me that much because that's terrible. It's like a terrible job because you just deal with people at their worst. They're
How long
hungry.
have you been there now?
9 years.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
complaining about the job that you've stayed at for a decade.
Yeah, the
I
money's
gotcha.
good,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can't, or it's just good enough. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
trap there.
Right, right.
They told me
right,
it's going to get better tomorrow.
Yeah. I've been telling a joke on stage. I'm like, I could get gunned down in this parking lot right here, and they would call my mom the next day and be like, "Can you cover his shit?"
Is he,
Yeah.
is he going to make a shift?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've been there to see the changing of the guard multiple times.
Yeah.
You've watched high school girls leave to go off to college and then come back
Yeah, and they're like, I fucking
And
graduated
beef.
MIT. I'm like, that's what's up, dude.
and be fucking waitresses again.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you want this Long Island or what? Dude?
Yeah.
And by Long Island, it means that 12-inch dick. You know what I'm talking
And
about?
now we're back.
Here we are on National Coming Out Day.
I was just gonna say.
It's
really
only
went for
fitting.
it.
What do you got on the? So we play a game here, Joe.
Yeah, let's do it.
Called What's Your D Block? Are we going to play What's Your D Block?
We're gonna play What's Your D
Are
Block.
you familiar with D Block at all, Joe? I know you're a hip hop fan, but maybe not the biggest.
Like Dipset, D-Block that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The D
Yeah,
Block.
kinda, except a different
Dipset.
group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in D
Like the
Block.
part of jail. That.
Yeah, like that.
Have you
That's what
been
they're
to D
named
Block?
No,
Have you ever done any jail time?
no, Dad's a cop.
Come on, bro.
Got out
I
of it.
told you nobody but fucking ex-convicts
I'm
as
sorry,
guests.
man.
It's a
Let's
theme.
get it together for the next one.
His
all
dick's
right.
been to jail multiple times.
Yeah, true.
Anyway. All right, so the
Thank
game's
you.
called What's Your D Block, right? D Block
He's not
is
gonna stop now.
D Block
Yeah.
is consent. Well, if you the episode that we did on Thanks for Sharing, all I did was talk about how little my dick is and how big his dick is and how he should never have any complaints in life.
So on What's Your D Block, there's 4 MCs in D Block.
Right.
Jadakiss.
Really, 3.
Yeah, Jadakiss, Styles, and Sheik are phenomenal MCs. And that's like your top 3 of a thing. D-Block also had Jay Hood, who was like, okay, he could rap a little bit.
Yeah.
He just ekes in, but he's definitely not top 3. So basically, What's Your D-Block is your top 3 of something and an honorable mention.
All right, so the D Block is going to be of this week's episode will be game shows.
Yeah.
Game shows.
Do you got one right off? Anybody have one right off the
I'm
top?
pretty much ready to go.
I am also ready to go. Are we going to start with our number ones and move it down? That's how
see
we've been doing.
Let's see how it runs.
Go ahead, P.
P, what you got?
My Jadakiss is absolutely Jeopardy. Delivers every single time. It's never been a problem. It's so consistent and just regardless of what happens in the show, if somebody wins $100 or $1 million, it's always straight through beautiful.
It's a good show.
And the dude that was going for the record lost today, which
I
I,
heard.
didn't even know there
I
was a
heard.
dude. My mom
Yeah,
texted me and was
he's-
like, the guy lost. And I was
he-
like, what are you talking
He's
about?
been like, I think he's been 40 shows in a row and like $1.7 million so far.
Wow.
Wow.
My Styles P is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Because it's very similar to Jeopardy in what it does. It's a trivia game. It's a little dumbed down. It's not quite as exquisite.
You could
as-
be less
as-
smart, yeah.
You could be a little less smart and hang with it.
Yeah.
But it still gives you the same phenomenal experience. Maybe even a little better because of the suspense music and things like that.
But this is purely Regis Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? This isn't Joy Behar
No,
Who
I
Wants
think
to
the
Be a
game. I
Millionaire.
think the game, regardless.
The game itself, but if I had to choose, it would be Regis
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
has to be.
For sure.
All right, go ahead.
For very particular reasons. And then my 3 is Cash Cab. My
Oh, Cash Cab's a good one.
So-
You're a
so-
real trivia. You're a
I
real trivia
love
guy,
game
ain't you?
shows.
So
bro.
Cash Cab is like, you tune in because it's there, and it's not bad enough to make you turn it off. And every now and then, it's like, oh, that was a really great episode. But you don't mind that you watch the rest of the episodes as it was.
Yeah.
Cash Cab more than Jeopardy. Like Cash Cab, I can hang with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Cash Cab, they
Well,
get
that-
you on
that's
those
right.
later ones, but like some of those $150 questions, it's like who the fuck knows this? And then fucking Meryl knows it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're like, holy shit, Meryl, she didn't know any answers to anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
And all
yeah.
of a
I thought
sudden
she was
chimed
drunk and
in
she just
with
popped up from the back seat.
Kazakhstan.
Right.
Yeah. It's
I
fucking,
thought Meryl was a man.
yeah, it could have been.
And then my J Hood is Double Dare. You watch it.
Oh, what a good call.
I was thinking about one because I love Guts. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if Guts would actually. And then Legends at a Hidden Temple was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I tried to keep mine more towards like legit, like what I consider a game show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nobody gave me requirements.
No, and I wasn't trying
Those
to.
are
And I'm
legit
happy.
game shows.
No, I'm not saying that they're not. But in my head, it's like that. It's them same kind of shows that can like that can transcend time. They're always the same kind of, like they last forever type deal.
Yeah.
But whatever. I think that's really solid. I love Legends of the Hidden Temple. I love Guts. I love Double Dare. Was fucking phenomenal when I was a kid because there was like, Dad was catching a pie to the face.
Yep.
They were digging
Going
out
on the
shit.
goose
and
line,
oh my
all that,
God.
yeah.
It was so good. That's a very good call by you. So in my case, my
Now that I
chic.
think about it, there's so many good game shows now that the juice is
I
so flowing.
love Game Show. Like Game Show Network is something I don't have cable, but I love Game Show Network.
the retro one.
You have the antenna though, right?
I do have. I don't know. 'Cause-
Buzzer's better than the Game Show Network.
Okay, I have to
It's
check
like
it out.
29.4.
Okay, I'll check it out. So whatever. So my Chic Luch in my list would be my number one. Even though Jadakiss is probably the strongest overall MC, Chic Luch is my personal favorite. So just to appease Payday, who thinks that I'm ridiculous for putting Chic at number one.
You got to have your own opinion.
Oh
on
yeah,
things, I
Walk With
suppose.
Me, just the best album.
I'm trying.
So just mostly for a nostalgic reason, not even so much that I love this show, but it stands out to me the most, and my number one would be Price is Right. Because as a kid, when you called out and you had hooky, whatever it was, Price is Right was on. Bob Barker was there to settle it in. You could kind of play along with as far as what you think prices are. And then watching it more recently, I think they stopped doing it because Drew Carey's sick or something like that.
Is that right?
I think that was the case, that they totally stopped shooting episodes and they replaced it with the one Wayne Brady does. That's an old
line is it
callback.
anyway?
No.
Let's Make a Deal.
Let's Make a Deal. So I think that it got replaced with Let's Make a Deal. Price is Right. It's a weird one for me to put a Chic Luch because it's not something that I will revisit, but it just overall in my life, Price is Right just stands out to be the one that stands out. My Jadakiss will be Family Feud. Most likely the Richard Dawson Family Feud, but Steve Harvey definitely does his thing. And you had a whole bunch of guys. You had Peterman doing it. You had Al Borland from fucking Tool Time.
Al Borland did Family?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I kind of vaguely remember
Yeah,
that.
the dude who killed himself, Ray Combs. Ray
Oh,
Combs did it for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, Richard Dawson, it's very different people.
It would.
He would. But yeah, that Family Feud is my number two. Love playing along with Family Feud. It's a great one. Here's a callback, but I love it to death. Password would be my Styles P. I love fucking Password. And when you see people that are really good, I actually just watched an episode, like a recent Password, where it was Norm Macdonald and Jamie Kennedy. I've been on Norm Macdonald kick because I miss him. And he's also just a goat. And he was so good at it. Like, they did a celebrity Password. It was him versus Jamie Kennedy. And Norm was just on fire. Like, so playing along with the old school Password's not as good because it's slower moving or whatever. But it's like when you can say something that's such a perfect, like if it's an antonym or a leading word, like if I say green and you either say red or light or, you know what I mean, or whatever, right? I just love the mentality of Password.
There's a chintzy version of it on now called 25 Words or Less. And if you go into it thinking it's like a chintzy show, it's actually a pretty good watch.
So my J Hood is a chintzy show.
Okay.
It's a Game Show Network show called Chain Reaction. Chain Reaction, and Lingo would be probably right there with it but Lingo's not as much fun to watch. Chain Reaction is a show where they started a word at the top and they have a word at the bottom, and you have to chain the words together to get from the top word to the bottom word. Me and my buddy Sugar used to watch this all the fucking time. We call him Sugar because he's a diabetic. We used to watch the show all the time. We tried to get on this show for years after high school to try to do it because we just thought we were fucking unstoppable at this game. It's a really, really fun game to play. So J Hood is my Chain Reaction. Joe, you got a D block?
Game show wise, I love Family Feud.
It's a solid show.
Yeah,
I do like
absolutely.
Family Feud.
As a kid, and I know they remade it, and I don't even know if I know the rules, but Press Your Luck I like a lot.
Yeah, whammy, no whammy.
It's
Yeah,
the
just
same-
because of that.
it's
No
the same.
whammy. Yeah, I know. I
It's
didn't
not
know
as
the
good,
rules
but
back
it's
then.
the same. Yeah. Oh, the rule, you played trivia, and then you got a certain number of spins, and then you hit your spins, and you had the option to, you could give your spins to somebody else and try to get them to catch the whammy, and whatever you gave to them, they were obligated to spin. But then the idea of the game at that point was just to build up the largest bank, and then you get to go to the finals.
And what was the one that? I know they tried remaking it when they were like, Sally was so forgetful that she. Black.
I was just trying to think of that.
I
in my
forget
head.
what it's called.
What is that, Peg?
Is that Match Game? I think that's
Match Game. Yeah.
Is that Match Game?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's a great one, dude. Norm was on that when they redid it too.
One that I watch a lot, and it just kind of fell off for me, so I will put it in there, is To Tell the Truth. I really liked a lot.
I can't recall, to tell the truth.
They redid it with Anthony Anderson.
Right.
Did you ever see Catch Me If You Can, the movie?
Yeah.
When
good
he's
movie.
on the TV show, and they're like, one of these guys posed as a airline pilot, and it's 3 people, and they're all lying about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so they get people, and
No,
it's
that's a good one. I like that.
But I like it because it's like a good group of like comedians like now, and it's just like random Anthony
Yeah.
Anderson hosted, and like he'll have like
Match Game was
Nikki
solid.
Glazer on it and stuff, which
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
So the
okay,
new
I'll
one's good
watch
too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We
Cool.
watch it a lot.
Like it.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the $20 Sack Pyramid from the Chronic album.
True.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I do. But would it be Pyramid? $100,000 Pyramid? Do
No.
you like that one?
No,
All
no.
That's a
I like the
pretty good one.
$20 Sack Pyramid.
$100,000 Pyramid is very similar to Password.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with either or.
Okay.
So watch me watch me turn into Who's Your D Block into me getting laid real quick. So my favorite game show, my Jada Kiss, without a doubt, has to be Baggage, right?
Oh,
And Baggage was
solid.
was a show.
Baggage was brutal.
Baggage was a show on Game Show Network.
I know about it.
Where it was like a dating show, and you had to tell them like the worst of your worst secrets,
Yeah.
and they decided whether they were going to date you with your baggage or not.
Yeah, this girl has 9 kids.
Yeah, me and my wife watched that until 4 a.m. the first night that we hung out.
Nice.
So
Beautiful.
it's just stuck there for you. Like that's a
So
that's
I
a
love it.
beautiful
It's,
show.
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a beautiful memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went a different route with some of my other ones. I was a big fan. Watched every episode of the White Rapper Show on VH1, which was kind of reality show.
Is that MC Search hosted
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah,
But
that was a
also
good show, man.
reality game show.
Who was on that show? Do you remember any of the names of the people that were on that?
There was like John
Oh, John the Don.
No, John the Don's a battle rapper,
No,
and he's not white.
but who was?
It was John something or other with. He was
Hallelujah,
like John
Holla
Smith.
Back.
Yeah, John Smith or something
It
like
wasn't
that.
John
You
the
had,
Don.
you had Shamrock, John Brown,
John Brown.
John Brown.
Just
was it.
Rhyme, Persia, John Boy, Sully, 100 Proof,
Oh, Sully was dope. Sully was like
yeah, Sully
Eminem.
could rap.
Yeah,
Sully
yeah.
was like a Boston kid.
Yeah, yeah.
G-Child, Misfit, and
G-Child.
that's it.
And Shamrock was Paul Wall before Paul Wall.
Yeah, dude.
Actually,
And he won the whole thing.
I think
Shamrock
we need to.
did.
I think we need to go back to the tape and see if Shamrock is Paul Wall. Let's double check that. All right, guys.
I like that.
I'm gonna
That's
look into
outside
it
the
while you
box
guys are
thinking.
talking.
So is
Yeah.
American Ninja Warrior considered a game show?
I think so.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're
And
gonna
that's
put
at
it
the
on
top
your
of the
list,
charts
right?
too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good
on
show.
at work a lot, and I'm just like, this guy.
It's
don't
an
got
easy
it, you know what I
watch.
mean? Yeah, it's an easy watch.
You know, it's an easy watch. You can leave that on in the background. You can walk away. You can come back. You could always hear a good fucking backstory on American
you know what
Ninja
was
Warrior.
a good one? I'm sorry, Fear Factor.
Yeah.
Fear Factor was a great fucking show,
Yeah.
man. Like
Yeah.
just some dude eating the fucking elephant testicle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come
Yeah.
on, man. You can't beat that.
Also, America's Best Dance Crew on MTV was another with the
With the
Jabberwockies.
Jabberwockies? Yeah.
Yeah. Every episode, I was glued to the TV for that, rooting real tough for Jabberwockies.
Did they end up winning?
They won one of them, and then there was
I think
another
they
crew.
won the first season, right?
Yeah, there was another crew that was like a crew of very well-known b-boys, and I can't remember what they called themselves, but it was like B-boy Ronnie and like all these dudes who were like major names in the breakdance community who came together and formed a crew, and they were pretty solid. Oh shit, my back, dude. And then I think coming in at the end would be MTV's Singled Out.
Singled Out was
I
good.
don't even know.
Only
Singled Out.
because I was like 7 years old, and it was as close to porn as I got at the time.
What's Singled
Was-
Out?
It was
What's her
just a
name?
bunch
What's
of
her
hot
name? It was Jenny
20-somethings and Jenny
McCarthy.
McCarthy on it. Also, because Stefani Brewer just walked in again, I would like to reiterate that my number one
Baggage.
favorite game show of all time is Baggage.
Right.
Yeah, because of the night that you spent.
She knows the reason.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
have
she
to get
understands.
into it. Yeah.
What was the show where they were on the bus on MTV and they would
Next.
be
It was
Next?
just called Next, yeah.
Next was good. Is that a game show? I don't
Yeah,
even know.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that show was really fucking good.
I used
It's
to watch
killing me, dude.
a lot of Telemundo game shows with my grandmom, and I had no idea what they
On
were
the Sabido
saying.
Gigante?
Yeah.
Sabido
Voces
Gigante.
corazones. And I was just like, this is sick, dude.
A lot of hot babes on those.
Dude,
joints.
Telemundo
Yeah.
knows what they're doing, man, with the babes, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
They got
the other day, I'm at work. Vanessa Riviera, right? And she's married, so I hope they're watching. She is on my tizzy top, bro. She's on the floor with me while I'm cleaning not only her gas unit, but then is on the floor with me again while I clean her wood-burning fireplace.
I don't think the blind rapper was on the White Rapper show, Luke.
No, Blind Fury's a beast, though. But this chick was on my top and then wrote me a 5-star review. So I just wanted to get that out in the open. That she made me feel really good for the weekend.
You didn't take advantage of that softcore porn situation that was
God,
headed your way?
bro,
Of
there
course
was-
you didn't. Of course he didn't.
No, he didn't.
There was such a nice thing. She kept on like talking shit about her husband to me and all the
Yeah.
shit. There was so much things going on. She was a piece, bro. A real piece.
She couldn't send more signals if she was a traffic light and he's just sweeping away. And
She
leaving.
gave him a 5-star review, and you know the first thing he did? He emailed
Deleted it.
Google to
Yeah.
ask them to
Can you
take it
that
off
down,
of the
please?
website.
I don't want people having that expectation of me.
Yeah.
Oh man, she was
Did
just
she
on
open
the
it
floor
up
with me.
by saying like she's like I really got a thing for chimney sweeps?
No, she. But no, that's the fact. So
Ever since
started-
I first
I got
saw
a
Mary
chimney you can
Poppins.
sweep.
Yeah.
I came outside. She had a propane gas unit with no propane tank. So she says, I got a propane tank. I was like, all right, well, I'll hook it up for you, and we'll see what we can get started over here. See if we can get your unit going. So she gets
and she was like, I'll get your
hold
unit
on,
going.
hold on.
Yeah.
So I go outside to
Is
hook
it a
up the
pull
propane
start?
tank, and I show her. I'm like, this is how you
Or
hook it
suck
up.
start.
This is how you hook it up. And she goes inside, and when I went back inside, she was half sitting on my tarp, like kind of curled up. She was a thick little mommy, dude. There was
Yeah,
something
yeah.
going on over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then came again to sit next to me when I cleaned her other chimney out. It was very strange. No one has ever sat down with, besides a dog, a family dog.
Yeah.
No one has ever sat next to me while I swept the chimney.
Yeah, you were getting the vibes.
I had the vacuum on. I couldn't, I don't know what was going on, but there was definitely vibes. So
Do you
here's
know
the
what's
thing.
up with her husband?
I know that she has to explain things to him, and the only thing that I kind of said that was a little bit of a flirt was like she was like, I have to explain this to him because he's like a girl, and I was like, oh, one of those.
Yeah.
And she was just like, yeah. And then
Yeah.
so she talked like down about him to me.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of him on the wall. She's some chick from Hunting Park.
Yeah.
And he's obviously the money guy. They have
Well-to-do.
a nice house
Yeah.
in Feasterville, beautiful house. They could use some chimney work, but aside from that, it's a really nice house.
Yeah.
And I hope I can come back and do some chimney work on their house.
Are you sure she's from Hunting Park and not
we talked-
maybe Latin America?
We talked for like 45 minutes before I left, just
Yeah.
about Philly and about real estate and about different stuff. And we were chuckling or whatever. And she was giving me vibes. She touched me a few times on
Yeah.
my arm and shit like that. There was definitely vibes. When she wrote me the 5-star review, I almost texted because I have everyone's number.
Yeah.
So I almost texted her and said thank you, just
Blocked.
so she had my fucking number.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
it's
you
too
should.
late now.
No, not yet. You could only have just seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just see it tomorrow. It was only today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
You're not
reaching.
going to do
Yeah,
anything.
then
But
you can
also,
text
yeah,
her.
it's a little bit reaching to move in on a man's wife as well.
Yeah, but
Even
she
if
was
she
moving
does,
in on me.
yeah,
oh
even
my
if she
God.
doesn't like her husband, you kind of got to be the bigger
made a
man
comment.
You
here.
gotta have a code.
She
Yeah.
made a comment about like how lucky my girlfriend is, and I didn't have the heart to tell her that I didn't have one.
Extremely unlucky.
Yeah, but yeah, I was fucking. That felt really good. That was good. I forgot about Vanessa Riviera.
I thought maybe she came from Latin America because I keep getting these commercials on my YouTube about what's it like to marry a woman from Latin America.
Yeah.
Well, you keep talking about it. You keep talking about that your wife is
kinda
a
like
white
a
girl
Puerto
that's
Rican
built
girl.
like a Puerto Rican girl and can cook Spanish
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
So Google's just putting 2 and 2 together for
That's
you.
true. That's true. That's true.
All right. So let me ask you this, and I mean this for the table.
Please do.
All right. Would you rather be reincarnated or be a ghost when you die?
Oof.
P.
Well, what are the terms of the reincarnation? Like
Reincarnated, just in general, you just come back as another person, but you know that you're coming back as a person.
is this cycle of reincarnation infinite? Like I keep dying and coming back, or
Yeah, let's call it
Okay.
that. Sure. That's
I
the case.
Or
would-
after a couple, you can be like, all right, I had enough. It's time to be a
I think I
ghost."
would want to be reincarnated because I would want to get the opportunity to keep interacting with people, with certain people, without scaring the shit out of them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's the problem with the ghost thing is like, whatever I try to do to interact with them, they're gonna be like, "There's fucking ghosts. We have to go."
Yeah, and then it's infinite, the ghost,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, like, yeah, and I think I just watched Beetlejuice with my daughter the other night because I wanted her to get acclimated. But the
Because I didn't scare the shit out of her
Dude,
enough with
Beetlejuice
the
is not a
hayride.
movie for kids, by the
No,
way.
no, not at all.
No, but it's
That's why it's PG-13.
Yeah, well,
They kind of give it away right there in the corner.
Yeah.
Next
Anyway.
up, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No,
The
he's,
As it turns
Exorcist.
out, that's
He's
rated
just a
R for a
chef.
reason.
Well, some of those older movies are PG, and they definitely
Did
shouldn't
you guys know?
oh, for sure.
be. Yeah.
Because I've been going through with my son. Like we watched Weekend at Bernie's, and that was PG, and
Yeah,
like
bro.
it's got no business being PG.
What
these
movie
days.
did I just watch?
Did
that
you
was-
guys know that The Shining isn't rated at G?
It's completely scary. I had no idea.
As it
I
turns
love
out,
The
that's
Shining.
not
Just
for kids.
thought it was about an innkeep.
Kubrick is my all-time favorite, dude. We should do a D Block Directors, although Cove might be elsewhere for that one.
I could do like Hype Williams, Little X.
Just do music video
Yeah,
direction.
yeah.
All right, so were you done on your reincarnation factor, or did I
I
just
think
interrupt?
yeah. I mean, reincarnate because I want to interact with the people I care
Now,
about.
did you say it's a continuous cycle of
Yeah,
reincarnation?
you're either a ghost forever or you reincarnate
I
forever.
think I would
Yeah.
do Ghost, man.
Yeah?
That's too much shaking the dice. I could end up in like some third world country and just
Oof. That's
Yeah,
a
you
good way
never
to
know
look
what's
at
Fair
it.
point.
yeah, I don't want that, you know.
So you'd be a ghost of Joe White, and you'd be killing it as Joe
Oh,
White
dude, The
forever.
Ghost of Joe
The
White
Ghost of
sounds
Joe
like a
White.
great fucking blues album.
Yeah, or a great stand-up special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be both. I'm doing a crossover blues,
A
stand-up
blues comedy,
special.
a comedy
It's a good
blues
move.
special.
Get up
Yeah.
there with the harmonica and just kill it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up there with the guitar
Joke-
and keep tuning it.
Joke harmonica riff, joke
That's the
harmonica
joke.
riff. People
Almost
will
to
love
the
it.
point where people are like, "Does he know how to play this thing?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll just be like, "I'll never tell, man."
Yeah.
I'll
You
never
know?
tell.
I just have it up there.
That's good, man.
Just
I
have
like
one
that.
riff down pat, like you're going to start something and then stop and go back to the jokes again.
I'll just start playing "Smoke on the Water." I'll be like, "You guys know this one?"
The Ghost of Joe White never tells.
Yeah.
I like where you went with that as far as like you don't know you have to roll with the dice. That's very
Yeah,
true.
that's too
Very
terrifying
true.
to me. Yeah.
What about you, Cole?
Give me that SSL, bro. That second shot at life.
Okay.
Okay.
You know? And I don't care where. I'll roll the dice until, you know me. Shake them up, shake them up,
They need
shake them up,
construction
shake
workers in
them.
Brazil.
Put me wherever you want to put me. I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, put me in Mumbai. Fuck it. Let's see if we can figure it out this time.
Yeah.
And then also, if it gets really bad, you could just hang it up because you know you're coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you get dealt a shitty hand like you're in North Korea or some shit, you're like, fuck this. I don't want to do this one anymore.
Yeah. Throw yourself out a window like you're making a fucking
Hang it
cell
up
phone.
and hope you wind up in Australia.
Like a reverse
America.
Like a reverse Groundhog Day. Like you get it. Like you don't have to perfect your life. You have to keep going and dying until you find the life that's
The
perfect
life that
for
I
you.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then once you find the life you like, you do it,
Right, and you get that block of time, and then you start the process over
then you
again.
get the next one.
Yeah.
Do you think that you start to lose your zest for life if you keep coming back? Your zeal, your go-getterness.
Well, that's also the caveat being that we know now that we're going to reincarnate. You know what I mean? Do we know, or do we just get to pick and then we just live our life accordingly?
Well, since we're picking, we know.
okay.
I don't think you'd ever lose it. I think other people, there are people who, like me probably, that might lose it, but I don't
Like
think
me,
you would
I'd
ever
be done
lose it.
after like a day.
No,
Yeah.
no. But like your personality and your desire to talk to every fucking stranger you can find.
I could talk to
it-
everybody in the
right,
world.
and the next set of everybody in the world, and the next set of
Now,
everybody
here's
in the
the
world.
thing. Do I get to know...
Like, do you have the cumulative knowledge of all your
Yeah,
other lives?
do I keep the knowledge from the previous lives?
If the
Because
ghost
that's
gets
major.
to do it, you should get to do it.
Well, I
think
think
it's
to
fair.
some
I think that's
extent,
fair.
I think to some extent you do. I think that if reincarnation is a real thing,
Yeah.
and I think that there's probably parts of your makeup that do, hold on to something. I don't think that you're gonna hold on to all your knowledge of carpentry and shit like that,
Right.
but you might hold on to the things that make you a good carpenter. You know what I mean?
Right,
And maybe
right.
that goes to a different realm. I'm actually gonna go ghost, I think.
Yeah.
And the reason I think I'm gonna go ghost is, and when I wrote this down, I love the idea of reincarnation and always did, and always kind of fastened myself as being someone who believed in it. You know what I
Hindu.
mean? Yeah, I'm a Hindu, essentially.
Yeah.
I tip better. The ghost thing would be cool if I could guide my hand, like a angel
Like Patrick
type deal.
Swayze.
Yeah, like if I
a
if
clay
I
pot?
can make
Yeah.
a clay
No, I
pot.
get it.
Yeah, but like as long as and I'm putting myself in the head of like
Like a
of
poltergeist.
Beetlejuice,
You need
like
to be able to
of
touch stuff.
the people in the attic or whatever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and how they could interact with something. I don't think I would be a spookster, but I think like if I could help shape like my daughter, you know what I mean, her kids or whatever, if I could be like a guiding light or a guiding force or something to kind of help along all that, I think that's more appealing to me than coming back in a million different bodies.
Yeah.
But if I can't do that, and the caveat is I can't interrupt, and I'm just fucking a wall, you know what I mean? Then of course it's going to be reincarnation.
Yeah.
Disney made a movie about this called The Dog's Life. It's pretty sad, man.
Yeah.
It's about a dog that keeps
that the one with
dying,
Harrison
and
Ford?
then he's a
Is that
dog
De Niro?
again.
I think that's De Niro, isn't it?
I don't know if there's any like well-known actors in it, but I just know that there's like one where a dog keeps reincarnating as different dogs. And I'm like, this bums me out, dude. My dog's going to die one day. And I just got him.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah, dogs die, dude. That's a
I
good
know.
way to teach your kids about death.
I think it's better to have a goldfish that dies first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
what. We
work
got
your way up.
We got a beta fish downstairs named Blueberry Red. And Blueberry Red is, I saw him today. He's looking rough.
He's on the way out.
I don't think he's got too much longer to go.
You got a plant in that thing? It's just feeding off
Got
of,
some
or-
plants, got a snail. The snail is thriving. The
Yeah.
snail
Didn't
looks
kill the
perfect
snail?
for
Did you name the
escargot.
snail?
We just named the snail today, but I don't remember what his name was.
Nice.
It doesn't attack the snail. Don't those things like just attack?
Well,
They don't see snails as enemies, but if you put a mirror in front of it,
Mirror,
they'll
yeah, I
attack
heard
a
that.
mirror.
Yeah, I don't
And it
think
always
Blueberry
makes me kind
Red.
of want to do it for a second.
Yeah.
Not like enough for it to kill itself, but be like, are they really telling the truth with this shit?
I don't think Blueberry Red has enough life left in him to end some life. You
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah, that's a
he's
shame.
on his way out
I'm
soon.
sorry,
Poor
Blueberry.
guy.
He ain't
Which
about it, dude.
I never really thought that. Like I wouldn't usually care about a beta fish, but I've grown kind of attached to Blueberry Red.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
So
just nice
hopefully-
knowing he's there, you know?
Maybe I'll bring him.
comforting.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll bring him to the vet this week.
He's got some, yeah.
Bring him to the vet. That's hilarious.
See if we could save him.
All right, to me, this one's a no-brainer, but I figured I'd put it on here. Would you rather have an auto-cleaning house, always forever fresh clothes, or an always fresh vehicle?
Well, I have fresh clothes in a forever fresh vehicle.
He sure does.
I also have an always clean house. So
He's living
Yes.
the dream.
yes,
So you're not going to pick one. You're just going to
I
not
don't-
play this
I mean,
game.
listen,
That's
I-
your favorite thing to do with this game.
I
is
do.
not play
I
it.
do love not playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to get rid of two of them, like if the other things had to be dirty.
No, you can. You
No,
can
no. This
attain
is
it.
how I'm playing it.
Okay, you can
I'm
play-
playing. I'm
do
playing it
your
this
own
way.
rules,
yeah,
bud.
yeah. Because I do have all three of those things. My wife is wonderful at keeping my clothes fresh and my house clean, and I keep the car pretty fresh, right? So, in order for me to like buy into the game, I have to feel like two of those things are going to disappear. And if that's the case, I think I gotta go. Damn. Can we come back to me?
Yeah. P, what do you think?
I want the house cleaned all the time because it's the most complicated one. It's the largest project of the three things. I just want to always know that whether I leave or come back, the house is in tip-top shape and we're good.
What if it was at the expense of your clothes and your car being filthy?
Yeah, but that's not
Well,
the game. That's your game.
I don't give enough of a shit about myself for the clothes to even bother me in the least. The car, I don't like the car dirty. I'm not spotless like you. I'm not gonna lie, but like
Yeah.
I don't like the car dirty. So that it would be rough, but it would be offset by knowing that my house is always
You'd
flawless.
be okay with
yeah.
it. All right,
I would.
What do you got, Biz?
It's definitely the house, like 100%, like
Yeah.
1,000, 1,000,000%. And my car would be clean if I could just throw all the shit in my car in my house and it cleaned. You know what I mean?
Huh.
If it auto cleaned, that'd be fine. Because
Killing two
honestly,
birds with
my
one
apartment's really small, so I keep a lot of shit in my car that I have no need to have in my car. Besides, I don't have anywhere
What's
else to
the
fucking put
oddest
it.
thing that you have in your car
A
right
raft.
now? Yeah, but that's kind of like you keep it in there because
The
you
oddest
raft. You're
thing
a
I
rafter.
have in my car.
You
Yeah,
are a
but I
rafter.
haven't rafted. Now it's going to get cold out. There's no reason for me to have a raft in there.
You could use it as a sled.
The oddest thing I have in my car right now. Wow. I got a lawn chair. I got a raft. I got tools. I got. Fuck, man. What's the oddest thing I have in my car? I got a boombox.
Very weird.
Who carries a boombox anymore? What do you got? Cassette tapes?
No, it's a Bluetooth radio, but I call it a boombox.
You play
It's
that
shaped
instead of
like
your
one.
stereo system? I did that at one point.
No, it's louder than my stereos, but for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but the Volvo did not come with a fucking great stereo system.
Which is odd. You would think it would have a Bose system in it.
yeah,
with a
my
Volvo.
fucking
Yeah.
my Prius had a Bose in it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm downgrading as far as sound system goes,
Yeah.
which is weird. But yeah,
What do
it's
you got,
definitely
Joe?
auto clean house.
What are you picking?
Everything says I should probably say the car, but it's for reasons of my living situation. Like, because I'm a 32? Am I 32? I don't even know.
And live mostly in your car?
I'm like a man-child. I live with my folks still.
Yeah.
And laundry it gives me anxiety doing laundry, and it's for the dumbest reason. I just don't like moving it from the washer to the dryer. I don't mind doing it. It's
Why? What bothers you about that?
I don't feel like doing that less. Like, I'll throw it in the washer. I know this makes no sense, and
Yeah.
I'm probably just a crazy person.
Maybe.
But once it's done washing, I just don't feel like moving them.
Does your mom move it for you?
No.
Because she wants to free up the washer. I feel like that's a
Sometimes. It
move that
depends.
would happen
Sometimes
at
it
a mom's
happens,
house.
But most of the time I do it.
Yeah.
But my big thing is, like, I don't know why I care so much because it's like I don't even fold them right away when it's done. I just throw them in a basket and then take them
And
upstairs.
then live out of the hamper.
Yeah, or I'll eventually fold them when I'm like, I need to put more dirty stuff in the hamper.
Yeah. All right, so which one are you picking?
But my car's also, I just cleaned my car, but it's usually a mess.
Right.
But I think I would go for the house just because there's 2 dogs there right now and they shed everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, dogs, dude. Fuck.
I think I could probably adjust to a dirty car and a dirty house, but I could not walk out presenting myself with dirty clothes.
Yeah.
I need to, like, present my best self.
See, I thought maybe you might go truck because you work out of it. So I thought maybe you go fresh as car because
That would make sense to keep it organized so I could
Yeah.
work better, but
Or I thought maybe you'd pick house to give Steph a break. You know what I mean?
come on, dude. I've been doing a lot of work to get laid tonight, and you're going to unravel it all with fucking one half a question.
Dude, you love baggage. I don't know what to tell you, man.
What do you got? What's next on the agenda?
All right, so I got, would you rather never get fat or always look young? And I also wrote in parentheses because I knew who I was talking to, including hair.
I don't care about hair.
My biggest fear
I've
is
been
losing my hair. That's
yeah.
crazy.
I've been shaving my hair since I was 23, 22, something like that. I got a good bald head, so that
Yeah,
it's,
my
like,
bald, I just got a
irrelevant.
big head, so I'm afraid of it, what it looked like bald.
Big old third knuckle.
I've shaved it a few times, but I stopped doing it because I was like, I'm going to go bald one day. You know what I mean? I'm starting to thin a little bit in different areas. My receding's starting to pull back or whatever.
So which one are you going?
I'm going with
Set
never
it
get
off.
fat.
Yeah.
But always look young is a beautiful thing, but I feel like there's also a downside to always looking young, where I think a man ages well as opposed to maybe a woman, but I think like a man looks nice when he looks a little bit more distinguished and a little bit more age to him.
Yeah.
And I think that if I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted and never get fat, that sounds like a beautiful thing.
Yeah. What do you got, P?
I would do the young thing just to try on a new suit, see how it works.
Whichever lets me keep my hair. I don't know.
Yeah, so
Is
always
that
look
the young thing?
Yeah.
What's your mom's dad like with his hair?
Bald. Grandma
Yeah.
bald. Everyone bald.
So you're in for it. You're done.
It doesn't,
But I
my-
don't think it goes off that because my oldest brother lost his in high school, and me and my middle brother still have it.
And my
I
grandfather
haven't-
had
Well,
had
he-
hair till the day he died, and that did not work out for me. My mom's dad.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm trying to break the cycle right now. Is what I'm trying. I will pay for like one of those treatments later on in life. I'll be
you
like,
can go to keeps.com and use the promo code the gig
The gig.
Yeah.
and
You
get
guys
some
got
shit
that
sent to you.
hooked up?
No. Yo,
I
you
feel
guys
like
got
we
that
probably
one?
listen to a lot of the same
podcasts.
podcasts.
Yeah,
and
I'm
it's
sure.
Like, yeah.
We're working on a nut jacuzzi. I don't think we're up to the
Yeah.
keep.com
We
level
still got
yet.
clap cleats at clapcleats.com.
It's running on the ticker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. As long as it's running on the ticker, then I don't have to waste any more time. Would you get one, Cove? As
What?
far as looking young or never getting fat?
I think I'm holding on. I think I would go young because you'll stay fit being young.
Yeah, I
you can
guess.
defy the odds.
I just love the idea of going to like a steakhouse and a fucking buffet and getting crazy and just never getting fat.
Yeah, I
already
also
do
don't.
that, though.
I never really like go crazy. Like I'm not big into overeating. I'm very like maintained with my proportions, so I
Yeah.
don't think I'm in too much danger. I might get a little chubby, like I did once get chubby for a little bit, but I don't think I'd ever get like disgustingly fat.
Yeah.
If getting fat was never an option, like if it couldn't happen,
Yeah.
do you think you would eat more food? Like, do you feel like you're purposely portioning, or do you really eat until you're full and then you're good?
No, I just
Okay.
eat. That came. I think that like everything else.
From jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
You
only,
only
eat
get what
so
they
much.
put there and
yeah.
what you can beat
so
somebody else up for.
You got to learn to be satisfied with less than necessary.
Right.
All right, I got one last one, and it's a multi. All right. The world ends in apocalypse. Would you rather it be a zombie, nuclear, robot, alien, or natural disaster?
I'm going zombie off the rip because I feel like zombie, you're going to have the most fun in that one. Right? Like the apocalypse is coming.
You don't think
So-
robot would be more fun than zombie?
I think the robots,
I feel
like
you
zombies,
don't stand a chance against that.
Yeah.
Zombies,
Yeah,
at least
the
you might be
zombies,
right.
you know
That might
that they
make it
kind
more
of like
fun,
move
challenge.
slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could get away. We've seen what, there's many movies about what a zombie apocalypse looks like.
Yeah.
And it always seems like you have a shot, right? So even though it's the apocalypse, so you really don't have a shot, your time is probably stretched out, and you get to play a fucking giant video game while you're waiting for your time to come.
Yeah.
Just start shooting up fucking zombies and shit like that,
I like it.
Don't you know?
How about you, P?
I'm doing the alien thing.
Be cool.
The robot thing is terrifying because the robots know he wants to marry a Spanish woman. So when they're coming to attack, imagine how much foresight they're going to have on how
They're
to
going to
attack
get you.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
zombie-
Black Mirror got me too with the fucking dogs that they have, and now they have those dogs, and they scare me too.
Oh, the robot dog.
I fucking hate
Boston
robots.
Dynamics has. Did you see the ones that the Boston
Oh, they got
Dynamics
some
has?
wild
They
shit
run
going
like
on,
a
yeah.
little fucking.
It's incredible.
Jungle course.
Not okay, dude.
No, I agree.
Not
I
okay.
agree.
I don't even go to self-checkout. I do not fuck with robots, dude. I mean, I know I have one in my hand right now that I'm reading off
Self-checkout's
of.
more of a computer, but okay.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want people, dude.
I
I'm
don't-
pro-people, anti-robot for life.
I am pro people too. Yeah, anti-robot.
I don't wanna
But
do
that's
the-
very close-minded of you. And I feel like on coming out day, you
Listen,
should be a little bit more open
I
to
identify
robots.
as a person that
hates
doesn't fucking
robots.
like robots. All right. All right. Did you expound upon that
Yeah,
as much
I
as you
don't-
wanted to?
I don't want to do the zombie thing because there's a chance that I'm going to have to watch my
Steph-
family members become zombies, and I'm going to have to make some choices I'd prefer not to make. And I'm going to do the alien thing because I'm going to learn something new, and then I'm going to get wiped out. Let's go.
The hot
Well,
babe,
yeah, at the end of the
hot
day-
babe in the chat agrees with you.
About what?
Being pro-person,
Oh yeah, pro person is what it's at.
anti-robot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anti-robot. The robots are the worst. But also, it is an apocalypse, so we do eventually die from these things.
Right.
So whether it's an alien or a zombie, you might
You're
have
gonna
fun on
die.
the way out in a zombie, but you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Enough people will become zombies where you're outnumbered.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might
yeah.
go with just because I feel like that would be the quickest and it's over. I don't know though.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. how
Probably
atomic
so,
bombs work.
unless you're outside of the blast zone, and then
Yeah,
you
and
got to
then
live
yeah,
for
and then I
some
become
time.
Spider-Man.
With a
I
foot
hear
growing
you.
out of
Unless you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that
There you go,
War Games
Spider-Man
attack.
thing. Yeah.
I'm going natural. I
A
think a
natural
natural disaster
disaster.
is dope because you'll get to witness, or to your perception. I don't know how much you'll actually get to witness, but it'll be an event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'll be like,
An
oh,
ELE.
the Earth is fucking crazy. Yeah, an extinction level event.
Yep.
Too, if you get that far. That was a good album too. When Busta revisited that, I thought that was a really good
I
album.
feel like a natural disaster would be dope. A natural apocalypse, like if it was a giant wave, because you could try and surf it, and that would be a fucking sick tunnel to break.
But just like being around, even if it was like a crazy earthquake or like fucking, I don't know, like the tectonic plates just move apart and we all funnel inward or something like that, or like the core of the earth explodes or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. It sounds
Yeah, I'm
like
thinking more the core of the Earth exploding, maybe not atomic, but just something where it's just like it's done.
yeah,
we're
nuclear
all
would probably
just-
be the thing. But yeah, like Cove said, like if you're on the outside of that and you got a foot growing out of your face for 40
Yeah.
years while your liver's turning into
Yeah, that would be
a lung.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe like the biblical one where like dragons come out of like the center of the earth and shit. That would probably be cool just because I never seen a dragon.
Yeah, if there was a dragon option, I would definitely probably pick.
I think
dragon.
I'll go dragon option.
Yeah, dragon option. We
But
all agree on
also,
dragon option, and
but-
it's a shame that you didn't put it in there. Dude.
But also, we all know Joe, who identifies as a T-Rex, which is
Yeah.
damn near a dragon.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
pretty
So-
much, dude.
Also, my fucking right eye being mangled is now seeping over into my left eye being fucked up. So that's an interesting turn of events.
Were you favoring your left eye now and it's getting
I
sore?
guess. I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm going blind.
Nah, I think
Maybe I'm
you're
going to
right.
wake up blind tomorrow. My cousin E told me this morning that he took a black mamba dick pill
Yeah.
and he went temporarily blind for a little bit.
Oh my God,
That's
not
the
worth
most
it.
terrifying shit in the world.
I bet so. You got a hard dick and no vision.
yeah,
yeah.
I always
Anything can
walk
happen.
by.
Yeah, exactly.
I always walk by gas station dick pills, and I'm like, it can't be worth it, right? Like just the complete unknown. I never taken one.
Someone gifted me something
Yeah,
because I was
alright,
having
alright.
no legit. I was having ED problems legit because I'm fucking a true noob. I'm very if there's no mental anything there, my dick don't work. So I was trying to get my dick to work. I forget who the fuck I was with, but there was somebody I was with. I couldn't get my dick to work, and I was taking these pills, and I think it worked one time. But I would take them every time I met this chick, and it worked one time. So
I got a headache. I took a Blue Chew and had a splitting headache. And then I'm like, oh, I'm never taking that again. And then like a year passed, and I stumbled across another Blue Chew in my drawer, and I was like, Oh, let's just try one more time to
Revisit.
make sure. And
Isn't
it gave
blue-
me another fucking splitting headache.
Isn't Blue Chew like Viagra though? Isn't it
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
same
It gave me a
active
splitting
ingredient?
fucking headache.
Did you have a splitting something else too, or?
I was splitting some cheeks.
That's what I'm saying. A
Yeah.
hot dog split open a microwave type
Yeah.
deal, dude. I got another one just off the cuff. Let me ask you this.
Hit
Does
us
it
with
involve
it.
dragons?
If you were to have a bar in your house that replenished,
Yeah.
all right?
You already know,
Always-
dog. You
always
already
stocked.
know.
Hold
The
on,
rum
bud.
chata
No,
kid.
no, 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 no. All right, yeah, okay, so maybe that's true. Would it be a cocktail bar, a salad bar, or a sushi bar?
Oh, you know what? I think I'll go salad bar because I never get enough vegetables, right? And it's always because, like, I'll buy vegetables and either I just don't wind up cooking them because I'm, like, lazy and don't feel like making dinner, or because they go bad because they've been sitting for too long. So if you have a salad bar every day, you got fresh vegetables in your house. I'm gonna get a very good fill of vegetables, as well as you're gonna have some proteins in there. You're gonna have your grilled chicken, your eggs, your
tuna.
chickpeas,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So I think salad bar.
I like it. P?
I'm salad bar too. I don't drink enough for the cocktail bar to appeal to me. And what was the third bar? I'm sorry.
Sushi.
Sushi's great, but I don't know that I could consistently eat sushi and always enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
But I could eat a salad every day and enjoy it. But at sushi, like, I love it, but like it's kind of got to come and go in waves.
I think you also forgot the fourth option, which is the Zanny bar.
Ooh. Then you forget about all the other bars.
Yeah, Zany Bar's an easy one to forget about.
Wind
Yeah.
up in North Jersey in some stranger's basement.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a really
I think
solid
that's
point.
episode 17 if you want to listen back to that.
So I think if I was drinking, I'd probably pick cocktail bar just because, especially in a sense of entertaining, it's probably the best bar
And
to
it's
have.
classy to have.
Yeah,
You can turn it into a business.
anything you want. Yeah, you
The
could turn it
business,
into a
I got you.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. We
You
could
could turn
turn
a
any of them.
yeah.
I originally thought sushi bar, but to P's point, like it's true. Like it's like
You can only eat so much sushi.
Like
only
I
eat so
can get
much
my
sushi.
fill of it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
good.
like once a week you're gonna
Yeah.
enjoy your sushi bar, and it kind of goes to the same thing with the cocktail bar too. Like how
Yeah.
much are you really gonna get down and dirty?
You're not
Like,
gonna
I'm
be
not a
drinking every
raging
day. You
alcoholic.
Can't, yeah.
So yeah, salad bar's probably the move, and especially if the salad bar got a little pudding, little crate in that joint
Ooh,
too.
you got that banana pudding or a little tapioca on the end?
Let's fucking go.
What are we
the
talking
frozen
about?
grapes on there for you?
Oh man, you get me some frozen grapes in that.
Oh, if
thing?
it had a fruit salad section.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, it's going to be the real deal salad
And
bar.
you
It's
got-
like
Has
the
to
salad bar
be.
at the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you got a good salad, you can always put a little on your chest.
You love a good salad on my chest. Love to rub a good salad on my chest.
Yeah, like if food's good, I want it on my
Also,
chest.
maybe sometimes soak my feet in it.
Yeah, why not? You
Yeah.
got it. It's never ending. It's
Yeah.
replenishing forever.
You
Joe?
got it. I don't think I would pick. I don't drink. I don't
Yeah.
like sushi, and I don't eat salad.
So the Zanny bar.
So
Zanzi
Zanny bar
bar.
or a candy bar, you know.
Candy bar? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You want a
What
fourth?
about a
Candy
Sunday
bar
bar?
bar?
Okay.
They have those. Those are.
A
you
what?
know,
Want
A
an
smoothie
ice cream
bar?
Sunday bar,
Oh, there you go.
like make your own.
I'll give you that.
Sunday.
Yeah, if that's you want to pick a J Hood on
It-
the fucking wrong thing. That's fine. Then you do it.
You didn't
do
give
it.
me dragons. You didn't give me ice cream.
We're
Well, dude,
ruining.
I picked
we're
the
ruining-
top
we're-
tier
as a team,
apocalypses.
we are tag team ruining Biz's whole situation. I don't answer the
I'm about.
questions, and you answer with
Incorrectly.
left field things. So
Impossible answers.
let's keep going. Let's keep
I
fucking
got
with Biz.
I got nothing.
Pick
I
a
would
number
love
between 1 and 3. 6. All right.
I'd love to get into Corey's conspiracy corner before we head out of here. Is that all right, or is it too late to do that?
It's getting late, but let's go ahead and get you guys fighting for a few minutes.
All right, so Pay.
Yes, sir.
There are
Oh wait,
times,
hold on. Let me
man.
ask you, Joe.
Yeah,
How do you feel about people landing on the moon? Did people land on the moon?
I would say why not, dude. I don't know.
You son of a bitch.
I don't think too much about that stuff. As you know, we have a good mutual friend who's super conspiracy theory guy, and he tells me about this shit at least once a week, and I'm just like, okay, man.
Who's that?
Jeff Davis?
I don't know Jeff Davis,
Yeah,
but
you do.
I like his
It's just
style.
a white boy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll call him when I want to have a nice panic attack, and he's like, "There's tunnels,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Where?" And he's like, "Everywhere."
Everywhere.
And,
They're
yeah, and
all
I'm
over
like,
the
"I'm like,
place.
should I be worried about this?" He's like, "You bet your ass, you better be worried about this." And I'm like, "I'm not gonna go sleep for a week, thanks, Jeff."
All right, so Pay and Joe for this argument. Do you believe that we landed on the moon in Apollo 11?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Unequivocally.
Yes.
Now, why did you tell him why we didn't, Biz?
All right, hold on. let me get into it. So the Apollo 11 was January 16th, 1969.
Correct.
It worked on its first occasion, all right?
We showed 147 minutes of live footage of us on the moon. That's an important that we're going to come back to that, but I
Okay.
just want to throw that out there.
But-
147 minutes of live TV in 1969 of us on the moon.
Okay, we'll get back to that
Yep.
for sure, because
Yep.
I can't wait to it. What else was going on in 1969?
We were just about to get into Vietnam.
Okay, and we were in the what war?
In 69?
Cold War.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Cold War, of course.
Okay, and who else was rushing to the moon?
Russia.
Right.
Yeah.
And who had the most experience with outside of the world travel at that point?
Well, Russia got Sputnik up first, so
Yeah.
that would be, you would put that in Russia's
And then
hands.
you had, what was that guy's name? Yuri something or
Gagarin,
other?
yeah.
Yeah, good job, man.
Thanks.
So you know
Thanks.
your stuff. Okay, that's good. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, I believe him 100% now.
You know
dude.
that here's the key to beating Payday in an argument. You can't tell him what you're arguing because he'll get all the. You told him that
Well,
you
no,
were
no.
bring this to the table.
I know, well, I
so
wanted
he made
to.
sure he had all the counter arguments.
Listen, I got notes here, bud.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
doing stuff. All right.
I'm rooting you on.
All right. So we had billions of dollars at this point, or at least $1 billion.
All right.
Invested in the
I'll
middle of a Cold War
Yeah.
where people are starving to death
Yeah.
on the planet, right? To
Yeah.
get to this moon, which
Right.
basically was just to say we landed on the moon first.
It was a
race.
dick swinging contest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
for
dick
sure.
swinging contest.
For sure.
Where Russia was creaming us up until this point.
Up until that point, absolutely.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is exactly the kind of reason why you know we landed on the moon. Because if we didn't, in the middle of this Cold War dick swinging contest, Russia would have been screaming it from the fucking mountains. They're liars. They didn't do that. Here's a whole bunch of proof that they didn't do that.
I hear
But
that.
Russia didn't say a fucking word. They shook our hand, and then we moved on.
Hey, I have a question for you because you might know this and I don't. Has any other country ever been to the moon aside from the United States?
On the moon, I don't believe so, no.
So only us. We're the
Yes.
only people with experience.
Yeah.
Just happens to be the media capital of the world.
Is
so-
it, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. I mean, other people try to acclaim our media, but no one.
What does the media have to do with science?
It's about what we showed, what Stanley Kubrick made for us. So,
Okay, the guy who doesn't, Stanley Kubrick, who doesn't fly, and was in the middle of filming, whatchamacallit,
Yeah, but these.
Barry Lyndon.
Yeah, but there was depictions of all this stuff prior to all this stuff happening
Well,
due
he
to all of our
he
tests.
filmed 2001 before that, but none of that,
and it just happened
none
to
of
look
that-
exactly like how the Earth
or
looked.
not at all. But that's fine.
But the pictures from the NASA shuttle from the Earth look very similar to what we depicted the Earth looked like
It's
afterwards.
It's the moon. I mean, it's the moon and the Earth. We know what the Earth looked like.
Yeah, but from
Yeah,
the moon's
Sputnik was up there.
perspective.
Remember?
Yeah, but it wasn't out to that level. We were at the moon. Sputnik
Right.
didn't go to the moon.
No, but it got into orbit so we could see the Earth.
Yeah, within the Van what the fuck was it called?
The Van Allen belt.
Van Allen
Yeah.
belt. And that's how most of our space travel, besides from 1969 to when was the last time we were out there? 1972. When did Apollo 17 land?
To the moon itself. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah.
So 1972 is the last time we've been
Right.
to the moon. All the technological advances that we've made since
Right.
1972, we never once thought that maybe we should go back up there
Correct.
and get more.
Correct.
Okay.
which
Well,
isn't
Which is an interesting
which is-
idea. Why wouldn't we go back
Well,
there?
a couple reasons. Number one is that the moon is not that interesting. It was interesting the first time to get there, collect some samples, and come back. But beyond that, we know that it's got no atmosphere. You can't grow anything on it. There doesn't seem to be anything remotely resembling living things on it. So we went there a couple times to see that we could do it. And more, for a lot of NASA things, the technology that's developed to get there is more important than the fact that we got there itself. Like there's a whole lot of technology that spirals forward because it was created and invented to help us get to the moon, but then it comes and it trickles down to your everyday life.
Yeah, but so we went out there a few times. What would be crazy now in our advances of like telescopic lenses?
Okay.
Now that if we were to go out to the moon in 2022,
Right.
now we're coming
Right,
up
right.
on, with the best telescope that we could bring
Okay.
and put it on the moon
Yeah.
and stare into space from a better vantage point than we've ever had before.
Hubble's further out in space, and the other one that we sent up is further out in space. We'll get a better perspective, and you won't be gimped by the fact that the land of that that planet is there. You can rotate in 360 degrees.
Okay, so who do we have? We had Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael
The
Collins.
third guy, yeah.
Right. All right. And we also had a guy that we were training
Yeah.
to become the Neil Armstrong who died in a car accident
Right.
slightly before that. But we'll get to that.
Sure.
James Webb, who was the highest ranking.
There's a lot of things we're going to get to.
James Webb, who was
It's
the
only a
highest
14-hour show.
highest
This
ranking
is
NASA.
going to drag out. I'm
James
just working on
Webb.
my hand style. Don't
Yeah, I
bother.
got it, man. Well, quiet down. James Webb, who was the highest ranking NASA official, right, resigned before the mission,
Okay.
right? So at that point, he was the king guy. And then all three, Aldrin, Armstrong, and Collins, all resigned within the next year after this.
Okay.
And then Neil Armstrong also, besides the press conference, has never appeared to any media coverage as far as having...
It's all buzz. Buzz shows up everywhere.
Buzz shows up, yeah. And Neil had one thing where he showed up in 2000, I think 16 or 18, where he spoke to a class of astronauts.
So are we going to use the fact that a scientist has a private life as some sort of
No.
example or
no,
point or
just
something?
putting it out there.
Okay.
All right. There was also no independent media coverage of this event, and everything was checked by...
What would you have considered independent media in 1969?
Well, independent media as far as there was nothing else that was assigned there besides what was shown that was federally checked. In 1969, it's not 1940.
I understand that it's not 1940, but do you imagine that they had cable TV and like there was 65 channels that should have been covering it?
No, but
Okay.
even
Plus, we're on the moon for the first time ever, so everything's going to funnel through NASA and then get beamed out, presumably, if we were on the moon. So there's no reason to think that like it's not like an event happening on the Earth where anybody can flock to it and take pictures and take notes. We're on the fucking moon.
okay. So you're fine with the only media coverage that was being placed was checked by the federal
was
government.
through NASA. What do you mean checked? It was live. You think
Well, it
how
was
were
live,
they
but
checking
it was
live?
Well, it was live with a delay, and
No,
it
it
was,
was
funneled
just
through
live.
through the
It was
fe-
live by
federal
whatever
government.
it took to beam. It didn't have like the FCC delay on it.
It
so
was
they could
legitimately
say, fuck.
shown off of a fucking projecting screen.
Yeah.
They showed it off a projecting
Yeah,
screen
live.
in 1969.
Yes.
They had television cameras inside the fucking cockpit.
But-
why was there no television cameras outside of the cockpit? The
Why
only
would there be-
television cameras that was outside of the cockpit was showing the Earth.
Right.
That was it.
So what else did you want them to show?
The moon.
You saw the moon.
Yeah,
You
with
saw
their
Neil
fucking-
Armstrong walk on it.
With their shithole fucking 1950s fucking grainy camera shot
Yeah,
on a
it
projection
was 1969.
screen. Not a
They didn't
live
have
feed.
4K cameras.
No, not about I'm talking about a 1969 television
Listen.
camera that they had inside of the cockpit.
All right, so-
why not at some point shoot outside of the cockpit window
You
to
saw the
moon?
Earth, didn't you?
Yeah, that was it.
So they already shot to the moon.
like-
Why are they shooting
It's
to the
like
moon
40
again?
minutes because they have a camera that's a good camera.
Yeah.
That could show maybe the more of the colors. It's a black and white film grainy camera
you're-
that we're shooting
So
off
you're gonna use. We should have used a better camera as evidence that we weren't on the moon.
No, we can use a
by
lot
the
of
way,
evidence.
Also, by the way, wouldn't that work against them? Because if you were faking it, wouldn't you use really good shit to make it look nice?
I would today. I
Okay.
think that they would, and it did.
But
it
why
developed
wouldn't they
a lot
then?
more. There was only like fucking something like 47 photos that were taken on the first moon landing.
And 147 minutes of footage.
Okay, with grainy fucking footage shot in Area
Okay.
51.
So let's work backwards, right? Let's work backwards in a couple different ways real quick because this can be really long if you want to dig your heels in, or you can listen to me and make a decision. Okay, first of all, anybody with a 50 times telescope can see all the landing sites. So that means that in 1969, anybody with a 50 times telescope could see a landing site. So anybody could have looked up in the sky after that day and seen the landing site. No one, as far as I've ever seen in recorded, documented history, has said, hey, I trained my telescope exactly where it was supposed to be, and I didn't see a fucking thing. The landing site is there. Number two.
The Apollo 11 landing site is there?
Yes.
But I
You can
thought the
see also-
conditions of the moon
you-
were that of sand and that everything
yeah.
was destroyed.
No, not everything was destroyed. The mirrors that they put up there to do experiments, they've been having problems with them because like dust is covering them and things like that. But they suspect that because of the lack of atmosphere and the lack of activity, the landing sites probably have like 100,000-year life.
Okay.
Like you may look up there and it might look worn, you know what I mean? Like it's aging, but they all exist. All 6 of them exist. So so that's out. The idea that like we went up there at some other time and stamped everything in there. All right, so we were still on the moon one way or the other in that
Well,
theory.
not necessarily walked on it.
Well, okay. We were still somewhere near the moon one way or the other in that theory. And someone would have done it immediately after the landing because people were looking up at the landing. And if it wasn't there, someone would have said something.
There's live accounts of a 50 count microphone. Is this the payday fact? There's a,
50 times telescopes are expensive, but they're not like magic. They're not like, you don't have to be in Hawaii on the giant fucking telescopes to see it 50 times. You can have one in your home and it wouldn't be like, oh my God, this guy is fucking
All right,
Jeff
I'll look
Bezos.
into that because that's
All right?
that's news.
So now move to the idea that there was 147 minutes of footage filmed. So you can think of this in a couple different ways. First of all, you've seen it. It's all very choppy and kind of slow, right? So if you were filming it on purpose to look that way, you'd have to pretty much triple your filming because you want it if you just filmed it at regular speed and slowed it down, you're going to miss frames, okay? And they didn't miss frames. They just had a very slow, choppy feed. So that means the 147 minutes, you'd really have to film 280 minutes, let's call it that, just for rounding purposes. So now you're talking about, I think it's approximately 14 reels of film that you would have to film to get to that amount of time, all right? Now, you can't just sit there and run them and have the projector guy go, oh, intermission, and then put the next reel on. It's got to run smooth for the entire...
No, it's pre-taped. Go ahead.
It's got to run smooth for the entire 147 minutes, which means at the very least, you've spliced 14 reels of film together. Have you ever watched a film that was filmed on film and then transferred to video?
Yeah, it's obviously spliced.
You can see hairs, you can see all kinds of shit that would be almost impossible to avoid under that scenario. So let's cross that one off. Your next option is some sort of digital media, which did exist, like recording it onto a hard drive or something like that. Would take you roughly, I think it's around 26 to 27 gigabytes of space. At that time, 26 or 27 gigabytes of space would have been an entire fucking building just to house all of that.
And that building maybe the size of one of the airplane hangars at Area 51.
And that building would be super duper fucking hot from running for 147 straight minutes.
As hot as maybe this desert is, a high desert in
They set it up in the high desert in the hopes that no sand would get into the fucking hard drives and ruin them.
Well, inside an airplane hangar, I think.
Sure, airplane hangars are just known for being fucking hermetically
all
sealed.
over this if you look at Google Earth even today.
So you got that. Then the next problem you're going to have is this. And this, to me, on any conspiracy theory, is probably the most important one to move to. How many people would have to keep a secret for this to be a thing?
Dude, like 18 fucking astronauts have been killed that were involved in this
There
shit.
were approximately 360,000 NASA employees at that time. So let's say
9/11 is the same thing, dude. If these people fucking think that it's an actual live exercise that's happening, then they're not clued into this.
Okay, so they thought it was a live exercise of what?
Because
they all knew that it was going to get broadcast.
Well, yeah,
everyone in NASA knew what was going to happen.
They sent up that satellite before we went out there to show you the distance of shit that left the atmosphere and returned to the atmosphere.
Sure.
So why couldn't they just use that satellite to depict that this was what was happening right at this time?
So like the 40 guys in Houston, they were like, hey, we're going to show you some fake footage of the moon landing.
No.
Get ready to fucking panic when shit doesn't go right.
Real. To them, it's real.
Yeah, because it was.
Okay. Let me go down my list.
Go ahead.
Neil Armstrong refused to put his hand on a Bible and say that he landed on the moon.
All of them did.
Oh, well, that's proof positive.
But that's some Brett Seibel shit. And Brett Seibel was the man. Anyway. The footprints cover the moon as the LEM lands. There's pictures of that. Number one. There's no trace of dust on the lunar lander footpads. There's intersecting shadows and isolated hot spots with it just being sunlight. No lights that they brought up on the moon. Now, there's been parts of the intersecting shadows where have been debunked. The ones that I'm talking about, I'm talking about is when you're seeing
the flagpole is going this way.
No. We'll talk about the flag too.
Okay.
The where it's I don't know what astronaut it was because you never see them. They're just in their spacesuits. Which seemed to be ill-equipped, too, if you talk to people that were involved in NASA.
Sure.
Anyway.
They were definitely flying by the fucking seat of their pants. There's no question about it.
I mean, they went through a Van Allen radiation belt with a 1/4-inch aluminum outside, not a lead unit or anything like that.
As long as you move fast enough, what's the difference?
They moved fast enough, and it was supposedly like 0.11 or something like that. It wasn't a lethal dose as compared to like the 130.
It would be no different than walking on coals. If you move fast enough,
you never feel the heat. It said it was equivalent to like 4 CAT scans.
Right.
So nothing crazy. So I'm with you on that side. I tried to debunk myself.
I got you.
But there's a few pictures that are done, especially in the original ones, where a rock is showing or a moon rock is showing a shadow going this way, and he's standing this way, and the shadow's going this way.
As if the lighting source, one of the lighting sources of multiple, was
what multiple? They didn't have a lighting source.
They had a lighting source, and the sun. The sun is the sole
lighting source.
No, it's not. The sun is 90 million miles away from the moon. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think it's like 90 million. So when that light is casting down at that point, you're not going to get parallel shadows all the time because the light source is so far
But
away.
intersecting shadows is what I'm concerned with.
Again, it's the same thing. Because now you also have to contend with that the moon is reflective, as we know, because that's the only reason we can see it. So you have the sun putting light down, you have the reflection putting light back up. You're not going to get the exact shadows that you would anticipate if there was a spotlight over you casting shadows.
Okay. All right. So the no stars thing I think is easily to throw out because
Super easy.
But also, there's no account from the astronauts after they came back and they had that press conference. None of them accounted seeing stars. That's what throws me off a little bit because they were asked that question. This is the only time Neil Armstrong has ever been asked questions. One of the few questions that was asked was, what did the stars look like up there? And all three, namely Michael Collins and Neil Armstrong, said that they didn't even notice any stars. Also, all three of these people, this is the first time that anyone's passed the Van Allen radiation belts, and none of them had an account, Neil Armstrong not being part of it because he obviously wasn't interviewed about it. But later on, Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, both interviewed about it, not knowing anything about the Van Allen radiation belts. This is the first time that anybody has ever passed through the Van Allen radiation belts, and that's just... It just seems unlikely that astronauts going to the moon wouldn't know about Van Allen radiation belts.
I'm in complete concurrence with Biz. I think that without a doubt, we faked it. I don't think that. I think the real reality of the situation is we'll never know the truth.
We already do.
Payday knows. There's no burn crater from the lunar Mars.
We know Payday. He believes the Tuskegee guys.
It's not
whatever
that
they say.
complicated.
It may be true. It may not be true.
Look,
Is there a possibility that they may be lying to us?
Zero. On this one, zero.
Okay.
There are times. Look, just because.
No, I see. That's it.
No. I'm
That's
just going to
all
say.
I need.
Just
If you don't think that there's a here's the problem,
Yeah.
P. With
You'd
every
all right.
argument that you come with is that you always say no. That's not possible.
Okay.
But anything is
when
possible.
when
You
I
limit
say-
your possibilities
No,
to
not
believe
anything
what
is
you
possible.
believe, and you
No.
go, nope, there's nothing possible outside of my belief.
No,
here.
you're wrong. Because when I'm saying it's not possible, all right, what I'm saying is with the information that we have today, it's not possible. Now, if Biz or anybody else, I'm not putting the onus on
Fine,
Biz.
I'm here.
If somebody came with new information, I would absolutely want to take a look at it and see if it contradicts everything else that exists. I'm completely open-minded to any of these things not being what they say they are.
Right.
But as of today, with the information that we have and the history that we have, this one's good to go. This one checks every fucking box there is.
They faked it six times.
Until you bring me something else outside of what we've already talked about, flags, stars, all things that can be demonstrably debunked.
Did you ever see
There-
the
there's
video?
When you put a nice Christian man in front of me like Neil Armstrong,
Who's not Christian at all,
and
who's a
he
deist.
won't put his hand on the
Because
Bible
why would he? He's a deist.
because he's an American.
But he's not. Right. And so he gets to choose his own religion,
Very
correct?
unpatriotic of him for a guy who stuck a American flag in the moon.
That was waving in the wind.
I don't need to hear any more else on it. You know.
I know you don't want
I
to.
already got my verdict.
Look, I know you try to pin me down for because I believe some things, I must believe everything. I can tell you about conspiracy theories that are real and came true, like what happened in the Gulf of Tonkin and things like that.
Yeah, well,
there
that's
are
proven.
absolutely, yeah, but before it was proven, it was still a thing that was real. There are absolutely things that the government has done that are nefarious, and then there's also things that they've done that are just flat out lies, and there are things that they have done under the guise of manipulation.
How about when they're
For sure.
landing a lunar rocket and there's no audible sound of the rocket engines in the
There's
background?
no sound
That's what
in
I'm
space.
saying.
Didn't fucking aliens teach you anything? In space, no one can hear
But
you
they're
scream?
inside the shuttle.
There's no sound in space. There's nothing for it to record.
Yeah, that is true.
off
It's a
of.
vacuum.
But they're in the shuttle.
There's no sound in space.
You know what? The more I
So how
hear,
is
the
he
more I
making noise?
believe. The more I hear, I think
Through
the
his
more I
radio.
believe Payday is
Through
right.
his radio, okay,
Yeah.
so he can talk, but there's no
There-
audible sound
so,
of the.
So you're familiar with how sound works, right?
Yeah.
It's got to go out and bounce off something and come back. There's no atmosphere for it to bounce off of.
But when you're inside of a shuttle, isn't that something to bounce off of?
Yeah, and so you hear the astronauts. What else did you want to hear?
But you wouldn't hear a fucking huge rocket engine
They're not
that's
huge.
inside.
At that point, when they're landing, they're three little fucking, well, not little, but they're three small ballast
Well, they have the
rockets.
one in the middle, and then they have the
Yeah,
ones to move.
but that one's
Which,
not
by the
getting fired
way,
till they
when
take
Neil
back off.
Armstrong fucking said it, he had the ejector seat out of it. Now, granted, this was in Earth's atmosphere, which I would think would be a more controllable atmosphere. But any of these astronauts astronauts have went out and said that even if you just tilt your ass the wrong way, you're going to lose your
You're
fucking...
gonna be in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, because there's no
they've only
atmosphere
had
and you can
one
float
test,
away.
and
Yeah.
fucking Neil Armstrong had the ejector seat out of the fucking thing.
He was scared shitless.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you be?
But
why wouldn't you be?
But miraculously, we landed on
It
the
wasn't
first try.
miraculously. It was
Why
fucking
not?
because it was fucking planned.
Planned what? From the
It was-
one time where the
what,
fucking guy had the
yeah.
ejector seat
Yeah,
out of it?
You think on like July 3rd they were like, "Hey guys, let's fucking go to the moon." Yes, and they built a fucking ship and
No,
went.
100%. But
Joe,
I'm
what do
saying
you
that-
what do you think? Now
plus
that
there
you've
was
heard
10 other
both sides
ships
of the
that went out
argument,
there.
Joe, which side has swayed you the most, my friend?
I don't know. I choose to believe that they probably landed on it.
Here's the
you know
thing.
what I mean?
Just like I said from the beginning, there's no doubt that they landed on the moon. And if you've made it this far in the podcast, I gave you guys 25 minutes of this.
That was fair.
Yeah.
I don't think they appreciated it, but that's fine.
If
God,
you've made
not
it,
even close.
if you made it, if you want, you guys can film another episode to fight over the moon landing once we shut this down.
I can clip this part off for YouTube.
Yeah. I see your heart broken, Biz.
I'm hurting.
And like I just said a minute ago, I wholeheartedly believe that they're lying to us, and there's no way we landed on the moon.
I know, but I didn't make
True,
a point here.
true.
You got 30 seconds. Give us your last point.
So my last
We'll let
point,
you go out on top.
My last point is just that there's a video out there that was shot on the day that we left the moon. It was a classified image, but it's been pushed around. Brett Seiber was a big guy that was a proponent of this. It was like his key evidence here, where they're showing the moon. They say on camera that the camera's right to the window glass of the moon, and that they're showing the Earth, right? From supposedly 300,000 miles away from whatever, halfway to the moon, the way that they had to go to get to the moon. So it was a little bit further than halfway, but whatever the case may be. They were many, many miles away from the moon, or from the moon and the Earth. And they said that the camera, in Audible, they said that the camera's right to the window and that there's no space for anyone to go around. Then you start to see, it looks to be a piece of paper or something, a black thing that's covering to make the Earth look more rounded, because their piece of evidence is that the window was closed a little bit to try to create the Earth to be a smaller section of what it was. Hold on. Then you see,
No, you're going out on top, but you're running on your 30 seconds here.
You see arms and shit getting in the way. Then when the exposure happens, you see whoever the astronaut is sitting there. The camera is from me to the shelves behind you, away from the window, and then you can see the moon in the outside, or the Earth in the outside, taking up the entire window. So to me, that is the proponent of the evidence where that part of it was undeniably faked, as far as what the Earth looked like from where they were supposed to be. Whether they couldn't get that kind of footage, whether they felt like they needed that kind of footage, whatever the case may be, the Earth was not, first of all, it was an elongated shape, it was an unnatural shape, there's shadows going in and out in this picture. This is not something that was broadcasted, this is 45 minutes of footage that was then later used and doctored and then showed.
All right, you got it. That's your minute and a half of 30 seconds.
Okay.
And I appreciate your...
check it out.
I appreciate your
January
fervor
16th,
for this.
1969.
There you go. I appreciate your fervor on the subject. And like I said, I wholeheartedly don't know what to believe. And that's been my stance the entire time. I agree with what Joe thinks.
Thank you.
If you have made it this far into the podcast...
You're amazing.
There's 3 people who just hopped in the chat. You guys just missed a titillating argument over the moon landing. Was it real or was it
Don't
fake?
get the chat started, because now you're going to have to stick around for another hour.
So here's the thing. If you think it's real, you might be right. If you think it was faked, you also might be right.
Yeah,
We may never.
that's true.
We may never know.
Apollo 11 was definitely
Or
fake. The other ones might be real. Let's
maybe
call a spade with a spade.
Maybe we all do know. Maybe we already know. Also, maybe you just go over to the YouTube channel and play this back and figure out, hear both sides of the argument, see where you stand. I'd like to extend a handshake over to the right of me. Joe White, I appreciate you coming through. We had a good time. Again, Joe has a podcast. Thanks for sharing. It's all over YouTube. Couple good episodes. I watched the Chris White.
Chris Walls.
Chris
I'm
Walls.
Joe White.
Yeah. Chris Walls and you cracked me up. You guys are a good team. I watched the Vasil episode because I love Vasil. And that was a good episode too. I'm sure I'll dig into a few more probably on like Wednesdays, because my podcast schedule kind of takes a dip on Wednesdays. I have room to throw something else in the mix.
Midweek filler.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I do respect. I think the production quality that you got going on is great. It's simple, but super crisp. You
And I
got
hope
good
you can
sound.
Keep up with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could go plummeting after next week. When we
Well,
start back up.
it's gonna be great. It's
I
gonna
like
be
that.
great.
I like that mindset.
I think
Thanks for
it's-
sharing podcast
yeah.
on YouTube. It's Fine Joe White special on Amazon Prime.
And us. We have the Gig podcast on Friday. We got a whole gang of episodes of the Tool Shed and the Gig on YouTube. Go check them out. Do the things you're supposed to do. If you don't, you're being a dickhead.
And if you missed any of this episode, it'll be up on Wednesday at noon. So check it out on YouTube, like and subscribe, and tell somebody, you fucking idiot.
That's it, man. That's it. I'm Cove. That's Jones. That's Miller. And that's White.
Let's
and
go.
we're out.
Hey.
He already went out on top of the fucking moon landing argument. Now he's going to go out on top of the top.
Yeah. Oh, this is solemn.
Mighty.
Damn, dude. I gotta get introspective or something.
No.
Yeah, I'm going hard again. I'm in the backyard again, wearing the cardigan. It's fucking noon out here. I'm in Ecuador, at the equator. Motherfuckers ain't hating on me, debating on me. You're jawing over everybody, masturbating on me.
Yup.
She be covered in jism. The bar is hard, Roseanne Card, you know the prison.
Yo.
Motherfuckers need to listen what I'm saying. Aiming at your frame then, okay then. Motherfucking payday. Nuts, bars, AK, 47 lace day. Face all awake when they cut Razor Bay Day. Balls, all y'all, all nah. Nappy with the roots, crappy but I'm cute.
Yup.
Saying that you sappy, I salute. Do I keep it true? Like I was a Tootsie Roll. Get it in your Tootsie Roll. Yo. I'm
Yeah.
trash, dude.
Come back at it. No, you're killing it.
I'm
You're
trash?
killing it. Nah, no, you ain't trash. Get him. Come back on it.
Yo, killing it, illegitimate, feeling it, lit again like a filament, feeling it. I am inside with the pride, no fight, I'm alright. Joe White is fine, oh I'm prime, like a rib in the steak, rib eye. And I knot ya, right up in your head like I got ya. Motherfuckers know about the popper, the John over gon' slop her, dick up. Yeah, right until she hiccup, big cup. And it's filled to the ginger ale. I've been here, you been this frail. Ric Flair with the dick hair, with the helicopter going off. In the side of the airplane, I be throwing them off. Motherfuckers knowing that I've been so insane. Like Cypress Hill, I'm the shit, you know diapers ill.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers know me. I'm about to crash at your crib like I was Kobe.
Hey.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm about to load these jaws up with my ball slut. Fuck around like I'm the boy that you called up.
Yeah.
Get on the floor when I'm wiping down your chimney. Motherfuckers know you with me if you feeling me. Always been this way, you always been that gay. Motherfucker know the shit you say. Fuck what you said, the tool shed.
He's 30
While I
years
do a little
old.
You know the gig. I do it big, but I also do it small. Got a little tiny dick on these big giant balls.
Yup.
Alright,
Hit him
I'm
with
trash,
a straight
dude.
razor. Nah, you're not trash. That was another beautiful one.
Nah, that was the worst, but it was funny.